Okay, so. He was gonna take it. She was gonna take it and work on.
I work for you. And I took a shower. And I made dinner.
Yeah, I make dinner every night.
Yeah, we switch back and forth. Alright. Let her rip, Christie,
Hi.
cause I'm nobody.
All right, we're gonna call this meeting to order at 7:32. This is the reorganization meeting of the Environmental Commission of the Borough of Fairhaven. In accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, public meetings may be held in person or by means of communication equipment to include streaming services and other online meeting platforms. This meeting is being held in person and through the Zoom meeting platform, being broadcast from Borough Hall, 748 River Road, Fairhaven, New Jersey. Public participation for this reorganization meeting on January 10th, 2024 is available by call-in phone number or through Zoom. Members of the public will be on mute until the time for questions, comments, which will be announced. At that time, the public has the opportunity to be questioned, comment by phone or through Zoom by the raise hand button, and will be called on at the appropriate time. This meeting was noticed to the Asbury Park Press, Two River Times, and the Star Ledger on January 4th, 2024. Posted on the borough website, the municipal board of the municipal building, and remain continuously posted as requested under this section. With adequate notice having been given, the Environmental Commission Secretary is directed to include this statement in the minutes of the meeting. All rise to the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Anna Antonin. Here. William Dorner.
Present.
Kelly Flanagan. Here. Susan Globus. Absent. Jesse Murray. Here. Gary Patterson.
Here.
Jonathan Peters.
Here.
See you. Brian Rice.
Here.
Ralph Windrum. Let's see if he's on. Zoom.
Ralphie.
I do not see.
No.
Also present, Councilman Olson and Borough Secretary Christie Larson. We will now be accepting nominations for EC Chairperson.
I'd like to nominate Brian Chair.
Yes.
Second.
Third.
Any other nominations?
Please.
That's
That- yeah.
Like to take a roll call for the nomination of Brian Rice for chairman. Anna Antonin.
Yes.
William Dorner.
Yes.
Kelly Flanagan.
Yes.
Susan Globus absent. Jesse Murray.
Yes.
Gary Patterson.
Yes.
Jonathan Peters.
Yes.
Rice.
Yeah.
You don't know.
I'm outvoted though.
Congratulations.
Right.
You
Thank you. It's my pleasure and quite an honor.
cast the vote, nominations for vice chair.
Jesse Murray.
Second.
Any other nominations? Okay, roll call for Jesse Murray for vice chairperson. Anna Antonin.
Yes.
William Dorner.
Yes.
Kelly Flanagan.
Yes.
Jesse Murray.
Sure.
Gary Patterson.
Yes.
John Peters.
Yes.
Brian Rice.
Uh-huh. Yes.
All right, congratulations, vice chairperson. Brian, you may now take over the meeting.
Oh, thank you. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the first meeting of 2024. It's kind of our reorg meeting. So what I wanted to start out with the new people that have joined us. Anna, welcome. William, welcome. And Susan is not here. What I thought it would be best to just kind of introduce ourselves and tell us who you are and what you do and why you want to be here. Doesn't matter.
We should
So,
also introduce, Brian, we should also introduce ourselves, right?
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense just because they.
Yeah, I said everybody.
Oh, okay, great.
Would you like me to start?
Yeah,
Okay,
please.
my name is Anna. I'm a lifelong resident, grew up on Buena Vista and moved back to the area 2016 into Fairhaven 2018. I have 2 young kids and I'm just really looking to get involved with the town and make sure it continues to be a really great place to raise a family. And I'm also on the planning board, so I just took over a few weeks ago, so I'll be sitting on both. the
You're on
planning
our
and
liaison to the planning.
EDC. Yeah, so
Thank you.
all very new stuff for me, but I'm looking forward to getting involved. And we're also, my friend Elise and I are starting a farmer's market over on Willow Street in a few weeks, so in a few months. So we're also working on that, which I think we can tie in almost to everything in Fairhaven that is currently in existence. So I'm excited about that as well.
Super stoked. about
Yeah.
that.
Thank you. Yes, I'm involved with that as well from the business,
Yeah, the small business.
small business,
Association.
yeah, business association. So welcome.
We'll
Thank
come
you.
knocking on your door soon for
Yeah.
that, so.
I grew up very Fairhaven too, but you're a lot younger than me, so we didn't run in the same circles. Yeah, Kelly's probably a good thing for you. Kelly,
Hi, I'm Kelly Flanagan. I moved here with my family in 2017. I've got 4 small kids in the Fairhaven school system. I am the chair of the green team in town as well. And when I'm not volunteering on the EC or green team, I'm an adjunct instructor at Brookdale. I teach in the environmental science department, oceanography. And yeah, so I am also critical with the sustainable jersey and our status on sustainable jerseys. So I'm very big on the environment. I think Fairhaven has such a special and unique environment, and it's really important. It's a draw to this town. I think it's important for us to keep it and improve it if we can.
thank you. Me, Brian Rice, born and raised in town, 4th generation. I've been on the EC for way too long, but I enjoy it every year, so I'm back. I have a business in town, a couple of businesses in town. My big thing is the river, being a waterman. So I have Rice Wealth Management and then Jersey Devil fishing as sport fishing, as well as the Jersey Devil Kids Fish Camp. Probably somebody know from that. And the environment is key to me, obviously, and without that, we have nothing. So that's why I try to leave this place better than what we found it. That's my motto. Yeah.
And I'm Jessie Murray. I've been in town since 2016 and pretty much joined the EC right after I moved here. Grew up locally though. I'm born and raised in Twin Plaza. My whole family's pretty much all still around too, but I have a background in ecology and marine biology. That's what I do for my job. So it's kind of like, I love it. I love being where we live. So, yeah, being involved and just kind of doing that is why I'm here. So why I've been here.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you.
Okay, Gary Patterson, lived in town since 2009. I have 2 now college age students. And I think I've been on the environmental commission since 2016 or 17. I think one of the first things I did was the ERI, which I think we're going to talk about updating now, so I guess it's been a while, like almost 7 years. I'm a civil engineer, is my occupation, so in that occupation, you know, I encounter some of the same issues here as far as stormwater and, you know, impervious cover issues and things like that. So.
My name is Bill Dorner. I've been a resident of Fairhaven since 1986. My youngest daughter went to school with Anna Murphy. I'm a retired police officer from the friendly city of Long Branch. And I'm just getting involved in Fairhaven after all these years. Sweet and simple.
Thanks, Bill. Brian, thank you for your service. And now you are our liaison to the council.
That was exciting.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's really great that we had 2 people that were elected to council and both of them came from the environmental commission. I think it tells you what the town thinks of the environment.
Absolutely. And I wanted to thank Michael for her service, and she'll continue to work with you on the green team, correct?
I hope so.
John Peters.
Hey, John Peters, former councilman, been on the environmental commission for a while, moved to town in 1999, so happy to help out. I'm a water guy, just like Brian. That's a big deal for me, and obviously I like to work on this, and I'm looking forward to helping out on the environmental resource inventory this year.
Thank you, John. And John is a past council member also, so thank you for your dedication to the town.
Thank you so much.
So let's go through the, real quick. We're gonna do things a little differently this year. This was spearheaded by Tracy. I wanted to thank her publicly for her service to the EC. She's, been a very instrumental part, in helping us in the council and, liaison, to them from the EC. So I wanted to thank Tracy. So what we've done is actually Tracy, like I said, spearheaded this. So we're gonna have monthly field reports from our field reporters. So the natural area is Carolyn Ferguson. Carolyn is the head of the Natural Area Oversight Committee, and she is in the audience. Third Street Trail is gonna be Bonnie or Mark, depending on who wants, Bonnie, okay, Mark's putting over his shoulder to Bonnie. So I just had Bonnie or Mark. It was prepared by Tracy. I don't prepare these things. McCarter's Pond is Elise Casey, who's here in the audience. She introduced herself. Thank you. Welcome. We did the first phase of the hydro raking, which has been a 10+ year crusade on my behalf. And we're gonna do some more in the back one as well in spring. Schwankers, Susan Russell, I don't believe, is she in the audience somewhere? She's gonna be our liaison or field rep. Schwankers Bird Sanctuary, Lee Davidson, or a designee from the Garden Club, so I guess I'll reach out to Lee, talk to him. Fourth Creek at the base of the river, so there's two ends obviously to a creek. So Jared Bannock, I don't know if Jared is in the audience somewhere. Fourth Creek in the area of the headwaters, which is Dan Scalco. And we reached out to him, and then of course Navigation River is gonna continue to be me. We do have Shippey's Pond on there. Shippey's Pond is connected kind of with Schwenkers. It's a private entity, so I don't know if we need representation from them or not. If we do, then they'll speak up on their behalf. So once they start reporting, asking for information, so we'll provide a baseline to build up upon that. I'm gonna hand this over to our very competent assistant, and thank you again for coming aboard, Christy, for this year. And we'll reach out to them via email, and then they'll get our emails and be involved that way. I don't have the email addresses, so but I do have their phone numbers. That's all I have from that end. So we have approval of the December 13 meeting minutes. Has everybody seen them that was here and approves? Any corrections, additions?
I abstain.
You abstain, you were here. Okay, so can I have a motion to pass the approval of the minutes for the December 13 meeting, please?
I wasn't here.
You weren't here either, so nobody. Okay.
I'll make the motion.
No, you can't, you were here.
I can make a motion.
You can make a motion, yes, go ahead.
I'll make the motion.
There you go.
To approve the minutes.
So, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So, current business, I'm saying right. So, going to current business, Green Team, Kelly.
Okay, well, we just had a really, looked at a publication, an article out in Fairhaven Living. I don't know if you saw that, but that was like the work and the brainchild of Bonnie and Mark in the audience and their fantastic project, Homegrown Oats, which we did with both Sickles and Norwood School, and we are continuing to do so. It's a fascinating learning project.
It was great, yeah.
That touches on, there's so many things to love about it, honestly, and we've gotten a lot of feedback from it, but works critically with the green team of Knollwood and the green team in Fairhaven as well. The Knollwood green team is led by Jen Annabelle. She's doing great stuff, so we are working with them on the next couple items. Some of our green team members might go in there and talk about food waste and waste-free Wednesdays and different ways that the kids can get involved. We're trying to set up a green team in schools as well to get them set with Sustainable Jersey. In terms of our first meeting is next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. All and are welcome to attend. I am missing a fellow green team member on EC, so I would love for more EC members to, if you can get involved. The green team is a branch of the EC. It kind of stems and is supported by the EC. For those of you, the new members that are on that don't really know what it is, we are like the boots on the ground where the EC is a policy branch. We actually provide and plan a lot of education materials, workshops. We host the Love Where You Live Day every year this will be the 3rd year, where people from town can come out and find out about the environment, ways to get involved, how to volunteer, why we absolutely love where we live in Fairhaven. We work hand in hand with 3rd Street Trail, the natural area, the schools, the garden club. And so we're kind of like that branch that puts on these events, and helps out, kind of a little bit more grassroots, if you'd say. Our first meeting is next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. I just have to confirm, I think, hopefully it's at Bicentennial Hall. And a big thing that we're gonna be talking about, and this is where, just come into the EC, is we are starting to plan for Love Where You Live Day, and I'd like to get some budget items prior to.
No money for you.
To what happened. We'll be talking about that coming up. And then, of course, we'll keep you interested with things that come across. I think a big term of ours is we'd love to get into stormwater management, education, especially these past storms. There's been a lot of flooding. So this is a great way. We're having policy from the EC, but how does that infiltrate and get passed on to the residents? And so that's where we are, that branch to help organize or try to facilitate that. So I don't really have much concrete stuff to present right now.
Thank you. One thing you brought up was zero waste, and this is something I was watching. I watch these outdoor channels all the time. There was a young woman who lived in the woods, so remember where it's coming from. But she was living off totally the land. She filled up her waste for the year, okay, that went into a landfill, were 2 mason jars. That was it. They were like wrappers from candy and stuff. It was crazy. But and you look at our garbage can, right? And you're like, man, I just took that out 2 days ago. And she had 2 little mason jars. It's crazy. Pretty cool. So I'm not gonna get to that level, but it would be neat to try to get to that level.
Yes.
Thank you. Deer mitigation. We are going to have a program in place in 2024. We have met with the DEP multiple times. This is a project that goes back kind of a long ways also. I'm gonna get Jody here from the NJDEP to speak with council, answer questions, and we will have a program set up. That's my big thing for 2024. As you all can see, they eat a lot. And
Do you have like a deer management program in this town right now?
that's what we're doing. That's what we're working on.
Okay,
So it's basically gonna be a sponsored hunt like we do in the other parks.
right. Yeah, no, that's what they do in Pennsylvania. They have it.
Yeah, Jersey does it all throughout, they eat various counties. So that is in the works. ERI, Jesse.
Not many updates. I know the goal was to, I guess, from our roundtable, to get some input. So I think we still need to do that. For new folks, our ERI is pretty much our environmental resource inventory. So all the environmental pieces in town, kind of has the whole entire inventory, kind of what we have. And it helps to make any sort of, like policy decisions with the town. So if anything comes up with with the stormwater, we have a lot with that, anything along, the river. So this is like a report we have, which we're supposed to be updating every 5 years, but obviously we exceeded that for right now, so we want to update it, but it's pretty much going over what we have, and kind of anything that we've done environmentally in town. And so when anything kind of comes to the town, like if they're, going to be building anything, if we're doing any type of work, we can refer to this document to see kind of, what our thoughts are, our plans are, making sure that the environment is taken into consideration. So, make sure Christy sends it out to new folks, to review it. We've just been taking comments now where we want to put updates, anything that's been done since the last ERI update in 2016-17 when we did it. But the goal is to hopefully have that updated this year. I know we're getting input from the other committees too, just to make sure that everyone's pieces are involved. I know we wanted to have maybe a piece on, like endangered species management, but it's up to, so we can actually kind of build in some, different like types of, like I said, policies and whatnot with the town, so.
Did we get updates from the EC from members of the roundtable? I know that was sent out.
It was sent out. I don't know how many
Any
responses we
response?
received, if any.
Jesse,
Yes.
I provided about 3 maps. Did they get out to everybody?
Yes.
We got
Okay,
them.
so then, the question is, what do we want? What do we need? So if we want, you take a look at those and you have any suggestions, just yell at me and I'll update them, or we can talk about things you might want to know about, okay? If you just tell me that, I can take a look and see if we have the data.
Absolutely, and I think the idea too is a lot of the maps that are gonna be in the ERI, you wanna make sure that they're interactive on our webpage too. Obviously, the ERI is intended to be available for everybody to view. But I know with the maps, especially considering we're thinking about a lot of different stormwater projects going along in town. Just having those maps accessible and to be able to actually like click on them and like see them big picture for everybody, I think that's kind of a good goal to have too, so.
You can load those separately, I guess, Jess, to the website. It's a question of the size of the document. You can make them as a TIFF or a PDF. It's up to you. And
Yeah, I
then-
think maybe what we'll have is we can have, if it's possible to have like, we can have the PDF of the report and maybe they can just be separate links or it can be highlighted, so if you want to.
Yeah,
click
to the
on
full
it, you can-
size.
Yeah, exactly.
Do we, I know we've talked in the past about hiring
Yeah. I was gonna bring that
a
up.
expert. Do we have to come up with budget?
No, that would
That
be,
now,
that would be
or no?
provided by council.
Okay.
That would go, I guess what we would do is go out and, there can't be a lot of firms that do this, right? To go out and get bids, but I think there's a whole process that we have to go through council.
You write a memo and your
so-
council would spearhead.
That's you.
Yes.
But yeah, that's.
I heard a number of 25 grand, so it's not like, it wouldn't fit obviously within our budget.
Right.
I don't know how accurate that number is, but that was a number that was thrown around. So I'll pay you 5.
But if you, I could also reach out to like Sustainable North and just see if they have recommendations.
Yeah, I'm sure, I'm sure. that would be great.
And try to get a ballpark because.
Yeah.
Yeah, there has to be some comps that we can look at. for
I
this
can't see
one.
it being that much, especially
No.
since we already
And
have.
Jack, right.
Yeah, Jack would be-
Okay, so.
And it's not like we're starting from scratch, we have at least like the basic report layers,
Right.
kind of updating it, and I know we did want to add in a couple different sections, so that might be like the bigger piece of it.
If it's 25 grand, that's,
I can't see, it. I really, I can see it probably closer to.
I'm happy
10.
to do that for them, see what I.
or better. So we'll look into that.
But yeah, so for the new folks, if you want to take a look at it, is there anything in particular that you're interested in, you want to make sure that's in it?
Where, is this on the website?
Chrissy's gonna email it out.
So send it
Okay.
Yeah,
to the new numbers.
yeah, and if you have any comments,
What's
just
on the website?
send them right back to Christy.
Is it possible to get like any back information to get like a little history of what's going on with, with the committee, the commission, in other words, what projects you're doing, things like that. Like me as a newcomer, I'm coming in here, it's like, I'm kind of like blind
It's,
at this.
it's pretty much outlined on our, what we're working on currently is what we go over.
Is that-
Yeah, and then the annual report will be completed. Christie, are we pretty much, I know we had to draft it, it looked fine, are we?
I was waiting to see if there were any other comments tonight, and then I'll send it to them later.
Okay, because I know I got Carolyn's,
This is a draft version.
so.
Oh, okay.
and then-
There isn't any.
I could send that out as well.
Right, so there's a draft of the annual report and I'm gonna present it in February if I'm not. skiing. You'll have to, because I'm probably skiing.
When,
It's my birthday week.
are the annual reports like the previous ones saved somewhere?
You
Just,
know, somebody was bringing, I think Betty Ann brought that up, once you, present it to council, whenever the mayor assigns a date to the agenda, we should start putting them on the website. Maybe
Yeah.
have them.
We should.
so, yeah, so folks can actually see the kind of what's been going on, like especially for you, that.
It's like on the website, I look, but it's like how much information, I mean, there's a lot there,
Yeah,
And there's a lot of old information. too,
Yeah.
we have to update.
right?
Yeah.
At
At least
least
for this,
any
you can-
tips on the website that you wanna add, subtract?
I do, can you update the Navasig River? For the latest report that I provided from the state, please? I know that went back to like 21.
All right, yeah, send any.
You have,
special ed to
the one you
website.
have, yeah, that'd be great, thank you. Yeah, if there's any updates, green teams, whatever else, let's get it all updated and make it as exciting as we can for an EC
Yeah.
part of the website of Fairhaven, but
But I guess we should.
at least it's a good reference. And if it would be great if we could see the past reports. and
Right,
progress.
so they had the progress of
Yeah.
the commission, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, with the ERR though, yeah, let me know any comments you have, anything you're interested in or you think should be included that might not be. And then all the other committees, which a lot of you are here this evening or online, please send comments.
Yes.
You know.
It's only as good as the data that we put in it,
Yeah.
and a lot of it we can't,
Wanna make sure it's
we don't
comprehensive.
have, right, and make it as comprehensive as we can.
Yes, I mean, I
There's a
gave you a
little bit.
model and results on walk and bike to school, so we might want to just tighten that up by talking to the schools. Would you like me to do that and reach out to the school board and say, give me your best numbers, what do you think is going on on a daily basis, and that'll give us an estimate of the carbon footprint impact.
Yeah.
I know for a fact, it's brutal at Sickles. I can't get out of my driveway.
No, and that's a brutal, I was talking to
brutal.
people down here, I'm at the national meeting of transportation professionals. And I was talking to somebody about our bike to school and they were just blown away that we would have 600 of our 800 kids biking and walking to school. It's
Yeah.
just unheard of in New Jersey.
The issue is Sickles, and I get it, the little kids, and if you live on the west side, it's, I grew up on the east side. But, it is, unbelievable the amount of cars that go to Sickles every day.
It's a challenge because that's where all the little
It
kids
is.
are and we centralize.
No,
the
I
little
said that,
kids.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, so. ERI, thank you. Stormwater management, that is Jess and Cal.
Well, one of the things that I just talked with Stephanie Adams earlier, and we were talking about just our green team goals. Definitely stormwater management is an issue. It is a priority, I think, just from residents as well. And we've got people that live next to McCarter at the base of 3rd Street by Columbus Club. I mean, the amount of, and obviously Michael, there's just a lot of stormwater. I don't know if you saw the brochure. So we've also tried to start up, Brian and I got together, last November, trying to come up with ways that residents could, or business, landowners can, help alleviate stormwater on their own property. And Steph and I were working together on a trifold brochure that can be used for the planning board and also used for EC for any residents, just as what you can do on your own lot to help out. And I think just educating people more about stormwater, like we all, and this conversation came up earlier today, right? You learn from a young age that trees are so good for the environment and what they provide and everything, the benefits, but stormwater is a newer buzzword that people don't often know how it is related to them or how they affect it, right? And especially for being on a coastal community like Fairhaven, which we are essentially a coastal community, everything that we do, whether we're a mile from the river or not, doesn't matter, it goes in. And I think just keep trying to educate people about it, simple, low cost, effective ways that are win-wins for themselves and the environment. And so I do believe that this year we should think about how we can get community more aware of this.
How about a one pager, Kelly, like a white paper that we can
That's what
circulate to
I know.
people? Like make up a PDF of suggested ideas, that they could download from the website, just a
Sure.
one pager front and back, and then have some links and explain why we'd like people to try.
Okay.
And it'll be handed out to the planning and zoning board to give.
So, right, so we originally just did a trifold brochure, which is kind of very similar too, and we have, we hope to put in photos from Fairhaven as well, examples of rain gardens that we've established in town. I also think, and maybe I'm, but I think as an EC, imagine doing a rain garden every year, right? And being a part of actually doing something so that every year we do another project, and whether that's with the EC and the green team and the garden club or the natural area, but collaborating, but we spearhead this.
Mhm.
And I think, especially with finally, McCarter Pond has been on our agenda for so long. We finally are seeing things happening there, but it is a mess on the side there. And so I think this would be a great place to be like, hey, we just cleared up the pond. Now we're gonna put a rain garden in there. We know there's flooding happening there. How can we make something better of it, right? And kind of
Mhm.
get a whole community engagement project with it. And we've seen what the students in the schools have been so willing to help out with this homegrown oaks project. Imagine getting some of these schools, the kids there to help plant a rain garden at different areas in town. Right, but you know, keep going with it.
Yeah, I think we
And
need to go to
why?
council and ask them if we can build one at McCarter's. There's, excuse me, one second, 2016, there's a Rutgers, or maybe it was later than that. And it's on our website. Rutgers did a study of our stormwater, which was not nearly as bad back then as it is now. I've seen places flood that I've never seen flooding in. And for a rain event of 1.5 inches, it's 18.2 million gallons of water that go into the river from this town. It's just a mile square. You can imagine Red Bank and stuff. So I didn't mean to cut you off,
No.
but it definitely has been something, and it's getting worse as the weather patterns change and we get more rain, because before it was like 1.5 inches, that's a lot of rain, but we've just had it, right? So,
And with, you know,
yeah,
trees and houses and lot coverage, and there's just a lot more going on, and I think people, and you know, just teaching about what a rain garden does and why plants and native plants especially. You know, the oaks project too, about how much, not just the oaks provide the carbon dioxide and that, I mean, the oxygen and shade and cooling, but they also intercept so much stormwater, right? Like a tree needs to drink so many gallons and a more mature tree. And I just think that these are great learning opportunities for students and for residents, and they help to beautify and create more of our local ecosystem.
Brian, do we
yes,
know
sir.
our sites? Do we have a selection? Of
Yes.
sites that we
The
think-
sites are on the Rutgers study that's on our website.
So let's take a look at it. Maybe we can make them up and start.
Yeah,
to
I mean,
prioritize, right?
yeah, the one, we tried to do one at the church at Nativity. And it didn't make sense, so that was the only one that didn't make sense, but there's one at Knights, and that we're waiting for them to do their project, and they're gonna redo their parking lot and such. That would be a key one to do, obviously, as you mentioned, at the base of there.
Back to
So you
back.
could do the two, right, you know, catty corner from each other.
Yeah.
At McCarter's, and that would be a great project, and the Knights, but it's a huge problem. Even yesterday, I'm doing a huge project at the house, renovation, addition, the whole 9 yards. And a friend of mine is doing the masonry stuff. He said, oh, we gotta put in a sump pit. And I said, okay, where are we gonna put the outfall for it? Oh, we'll just put it through the curb at the street. I said, no, that's illegal.
Right.
Whenever I drive down the street now, we don't have winter anymore, and you see a puddle in front of somebody's house that's frozen, that's an illegal sump hole. And we're cracking down on that. You know, it's just simple things like that. I'm like, no, it has to go into the dirt.
Yes.
You know, it's simple. You go, well, how are we gonna do that? I said, I don't even figure it out.
Are they
I
doing
looked at it.
dry wells?
Yes, and we dug up an old dry well. It was pretty cool. And so yes, it's a simple solution, just a dry well, and that's it. And that forces the water to seep into the dirt, and it gets to the river, but it's clean.
I like the idea of the kids teaching parents a little bit too, you know, making it like a learning experience for. the
They
kids
have
in
it,
town.
yeah, Clean Ocean Action has the pamphlets. Know where your water goes.
Yeah,
I think we have good signage too, especially McCarter Park, and a lot of people go hang out there. We have a rain garden there, or even at the nights, like either or.
it's nice for them to,
Signage.
yeah.
You can see what
Like we
exactly.
did at NOLA, yeah.
Well, the one
exactly.
in front of, what's this, the Raven and the Peach on the car.
That was the first one we did,
It's just sweet,
20
little-
years ago.
it's just a very nice, you know.
and that was sponsored by Verizon. We got the money for that, and they're not expensive.
Yeah, no, I think it's just a good overall experience
It is.
for the town.
What would you guys think of? I love the idea of doing a rain garden every year, something quite tangible.
Mhm.
What would you think about having the June meeting where the day is longest and actually do the rain garden in lieu of the meeting?
That's fine.
Yeah. What the hell was that? Sounded like a deer. Been hanging out in the woods too long.
Like we actually do it,
Right,
right? As
That's
a
a
group.
great.
you know, and
Bring family, kids,
Yeah.
neighbors, whatever.
right, community event like join
Yeah,
others, right,
So
and I think.
We'll spend an hour or two.
Sure. Well, I mean, there's one thing about this town is that you realize that it's no short of volunteers, right? You put out a sign up genius, people will come out with, and it'll be filled up in a, you know,
Rain
in
or
an
shine.
instant, right? And, but I just think that, yes, we are policy and we are trying to get our stormwater more stringent, because right now we are at the very lax level and there's a lot of,
At the minimum level.
we are the minimum level and for New Jersey, and yet we are a coastal town, so
Yeah.
we can and should be doing more. And this is just a good way to lead by example,
Yeah.
lead by action, showing that like, hey, if we can do it, it's really easy, you can do it in your own yard.
Yeah.
Right,
Yep.
and this is how we do it, and so I think this could be just, and you know, getting out in the community, it's easy enough to talk about it in here, but actually to show people, right,
Yeah.
exactly, so.
They're easy to do, especially with, as you pointed out, the volunteers and the equipment. I mean, you know, we show up with it.
Yeah.
One of our machines and it's done. I mean,
And
it
the
took us,
plants aren't a lot either.
it took us a weekend to do the two at Melwood.
Mhm.
Actually, I think it was about a day and a half, and then we ran down to, you know, got the plants, and then the kids came out and planted all the plants and stuff like that. So yeah, it worked out well. They're not hard to make. It's not, we don't have to hire an engineer, no offense, to do, you know, it's a hole, you know, it's a shallow depression. And the big thing is to, you know, and we test the soil and make sure that it has enough flow where it would be able to handle the water coming into it and stuff like that. The one at Norwood, the front one is funny because it's turning into a pond because people just dump stuff. And so years ago, there was somebody dumped a bunch of asphalt and stuff there, so we dug a lot of it up as much as we could, but it still over time seeps, you know, into the ground, but we had no way of knowing that until we started digging it. So yeah, that's a good idea. So June 12th is our June meeting. We're gonna do that out in the field and dig a rain garden.
Great. Well, even if we even have it dug beforehand and we can all just.
Yeah.
Get kind of plan.
We have to get approval.
You want
Yeah, what do you need
digging,
from
but-
council?
Yeah, I mean, it's handed.
No, we'll do it with I have it at the house. Right now, we'll just run over there. It takes literally a half an hour.
But Jesse, if you and I wanted to kind of talk about a timeline
So-
too, so cause I could see and envisioning the like, you know, even just working up to it, like talk or discussion about like why stormwater is important, right? You know, like there's other things too, so you're not just showing up and planting, but like actually understanding why.
100%.
So I'm happy to like
So procedurally,
plan.
because it's on borough property, to get to Brian's question, I think we have to put together a proposal, vote on it here, and then send it up the chain to, you know, through you to the council, I believe, but if you want to double check that,
Okay,
that would be good, and then just let us know, and we'll put it together and we'll vote on it in the next meeting.
And also, when's Lovely Where You Live Day?
Love Where You Live Day is scheduled right now for Cinco de Mayo.
Well,
Gonna have- Coronas? Don't say it.
Well, then will you come?
I will, I'll be there,
Yes.
I'll bring it, just say,
Yes.
I'm just
where we
thinking
go.
that's a-
I will be there
Okay.
with my sombrero.
Yeah, yeah, there you go.
It is a made up American holiday for
It's okay.
whatever.
But I
Whatever
think
we
it's-
get you there.
So I will be there. Yeah,
Um, that's a good opportunity though, to like,
fishing season.
to promote. Like, if Lovely Where You Live Day is
It's almost
before that,
Easter.
if we're able to actually do the planting and do that in June.
Yes,
That'd be a good opportunity
to talk
to
and have
talk
a
about it
whole
more and say, oh, and we're also
display.
gonna be doing this
sign up,
on this date. If you would like, yeah, if you'd like to sign up.
sign up right
Okay.
here
It's on my calendar all day.
all day.
So if I book a charter,
Perfect.
somebody else will do it and you'll pay them.
And so, you know, but, right, so there could be too, perhaps there could be some grant money as well. So
Yeah, I
I
would
would
think so,
definitely
yeah.
look for some grant money to.
Are you gonna do that?
Do you want to?
I don't know how to do that.
We could coordinate with the grant
Find out
committee.
quick.
So Michael and Tracy are both on the grant committee,
Yeah.
and I'm happy to coordinate with both of them because they believe in this stuff as well too. So we can,
Yeah.
put that in there, but I do think, you know,
We can chat more.
let's chat
Yeah.
more, map out an area that makes sense
Yeah.
and what would need to move forward with that.
That sounds good.
But great, I love the support.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's
Thank
get our hands dirty.
I'll run the machine.
Okay. Whatever gets it done, then.
So
We get it done.
I don't mind,
Check
having-
things
my
off.
hands
Check
are
things
usually
off.
always
Yeah.
dirty, but so, thank you. ERI, stormwater, Navigate Rivers clean, we're good. We're still, pretty much on target to have it upgraded to a level that it's never. When I talk to old timers, never seen. So since they started the testing back in the sixties. So that's our target, is to have that upgraded this year. And we're very close to it. McCarter Pond I touched on earlier, there isn't really much other updates on that.
I have a question.
Yes.
I got a question from a resident. Is there a lot of activity happening around the shoreline as well? That's,
Of McCarter's?
yeah.
Yeah, so
that's what I
the
thought.
north side is pretty much all done. The south end, the real shallow end, they're gonna come back in the spring and hit that.
So let me rephrase it, and that's the contractor, not DPW?
That's correct. The contractor's coming back to do that. As we know, we had two contractors.
Yes.
So that's what delayed the project.
So the north side is done, so they're just gonna do the south.
Yeah, they're gonna do as much as they can the south side. The problem with the south side, a lot of that is not just, it's dirt. And so the hydro raking, so everybody understands, just takes that layer of vegetation and such off the bottom. It doesn't remove any actual mud or, dirt, such, but
The organic material.
it's just the organic material. So a lot of the south side of the pond has been just filled in by, flow from that pipe of sand and stuff like that. So, but they're gonna do the best they can with that. It's gonna be a lot better than it's ever been in my lifetime, hopefully. So Third Street Trail, there's trees there. There's more trees coming, maybe, we don't know. The council did not approve our budget request for trees. Thank you very much, council. But I think you've secured some funding to get some more trees. I know I've been on some emails. I wasn't supposed to vote on that, right? I have no vote for that stuff, for Carolyn's, committee. I was on that email, so I saw the email exchanges. So what, you want to give a quick update? Go ahead. Or Bonnie, or both. I don't know who to call.
Yeah, so first of all, the council didn't reject the money.
True.
Could you explain for public record what? got
Okay,
rejected
so
there?
for public record,
You contacted me.
Mark contacted me.
No, you contacted me.
I contacted you, correct. We talked, well, no, you told me you needed money for the trees. I wouldn't know. So then, right, correct. So I remember. And so I proposed it to our commission and our commissioners, and we passed it. Then it goes up the line to Teresa. And I think the mayor, they ultimately approved the POs, and it was not approved on the town level.
They were supposed to approve it, you mean?
Well, I was
And then
hoping they
didn't.
would, I was,
Yeah.
we had all passed it, so, but the final approval comes from the town to pay it out of our budget, which we
So I
had,
just-
we still had money, but we lose it now.
Just requesting to get formally, could I get a copy of the letter? Of why it was rejected?
The email?
We understand,
I'll
yeah.
send it to you.
Wait a minute, you had funds in your budget and you
Yeah.
couldn't spend the budget in
That's correct.
2023.
Yes,
But
we're
that
talking
wasn't
about
a decision.
$1,500.
The council never decided that, right? That was
No.
communicated by the borough administrator.
We have to put in a purchase order for the trees.
Yeah,
The only thing we can do is approve that purchase order, is vote and approve the purchase order on our level.
technically.
It has to ultimately be approved by the
You
town.
submitted a quote, and the quote was in request of a purchase order.
That's correct.
It never made it to a purchase order.
It did make it to a purchase order, but it never got approved.
Was that
Right.
the bill list?
Because that was the administrator, right?
That's
It's
correct.
like a copy of the record.
I'm sending it to you now.
Very good.
You have it.
Okay, so now we got that done. Supposedly.
Oh, you have it. Your email's in your box.
Good, good.
I thought I sent it to you earlier.
Yep, so Third Street Trail. We had a volunteer day the first weekend in December. Some very hardworking council members, one new EC liaison, I remember sweating profusely as he
Was not me.
invasive species from the Third Street Trail. Thank you, Brian,
Thank you, Brian.
fellow Minnesotan.
That's right.
And then, so that was a success in spite of the rain. And some people show up in white, which is kind of crazy, but.
Oh my God.
When does she not?
Volunteer days, let's not show up in white.
When it's torrential down.
So,
That's right there.
so we'd like to do 2 more volunteer days. We'd like to do, the first Sunday in February, which is Sunday, February.
I think it's.
4th.
Yeah.
Yeah,
February.
we'd like
Should
to
be the-
start off
yeah, it
with
should be the-
2 volunteer
yeah.
days. We'd like to do the first one, the first Sunday in February.
That'll be the 4th.
The 4th, and again, that's a 10 to 1, 3 hours, come one, come all. I think we're gonna focus a little bit on that day, just on the English ivy that's choking down all sorts of trees. We lost a locust tree on the Third Street Trail in December. Covered with English ivy, puts tremendous stress on the tree. English ivy is an invasive species. Wind comes up, snow comes up, wind comes up, puts stress on the tree. It is also taking all the nutrients out of the ground, starve the tree comes down. It's expensive for the town. So we're gonna focus on that day on removing English ivy in the Third Street Trail. I think we might have lost another one on the trail that goes up to William Street this past weekend. Covered in English ivy. And then we'd like to do another volunteer day, the first Sunday in March, same thing. I think that's March 3rd.
3rd.
And that would be 10 to 1. And we don't know what that theme will be, but we'll be pulling out.
I mean, a lot of the last few, we have all these beautiful native hollies and other native plants that are covered in the porcelain berry and the multiple rosin. So just bringing them up allows them to go, and just, we don't have to plant anything, we just have to preserve them and let them live. So trying to dig out some of that, is what we'd like to do.
Yeah.
And the ivy, we're hoping to maybe educate people on taking care of their own trees, how you cut the ivy, so your own, I was just doing it in my yard. Because it eventually will your tree. And it doesn't really look that great, when you finally look at it, so.
Cool.
And then we'll be coming back to you, because I'm sure we'll be coming on today.
Yeah, I would just get those dates to Betty Ann and she can put them in the focus or.
Yeah, I mean, I know the last time we did this, you guys, I guess.
Yeah.
Just said you were gonna do the date, and then liaison Council Cole mentioned it at the governing body meeting, so we mentioned those 2 dates.
Yeah, that'd be great. And then see if Betty Ann, Brian would, if Betty Ann can put it in the focus for the.
10 to 1, 3 hours. Grace, thank you, thanks, Brian.
We have beer?
There will be beer out.
Okay.
Mimosas.
Mimosas.
Think of it.
What's that? Camelback?
Yeah.
Oh, I used to put all kinds of good stuff in my camelbacks.
Maybe some music.
I do think that
Okay.
volunteer day last in December that was raining, it would have opened
rain
up
was
the
tough.
with a little music, would have really stopped.
I'll ask John Annabelle if he'll come and play.
Yeah, I know. One thing that, George Billingham, who came and he said they used to do that all the time when he was growing up, and it would be like a big bonfire, like people like to come and do hard labor when there's a big
We have,
event, food,
we have
music, drink.
we have a very accomplished musician who is supplying order to you. I'll ask them if they will play for us on the deck overlooking the trail.
Yeah, and Kelly's got, it's an interesting point. I don't know how we could ever get it through the governing body, but could we have a bonfire that day? I just.
Yeah.
Right, I know.
We can in Decker's yard, I'm sure I can arrange that right down on borough property.
Or in the rice yard too. either way.
Rice yard's not close enough, but sure, there's plenty to burn there right now.
Close planting.
Yeah.
Okay, we can do it, yeah, but our house won't be completed by then. You can have a work party at our house afterwards. So,
But yeah, just like little, but yeah, it was great. I mean, there was a lot of people here that were at that one, and it wasn't easy, but we did a lot of work. You walk through the next day and you're like, wow,
Like that,
yeah, so. Great.
okay, thank you. I would imagine there's no planning board update. And there's probably no council, is there a council update? Probably not. but maybe.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
So we had our first meeting on the second.
That's right,
It's
you guys did.
administrative. The next meeting is the 22nd. Just so you know, I will be on the commission, obviously, the Shade Tree, Fairhaven Fields, and the Finance Committee. First finance meeting is tomorrow. So I'm still trying to get my brain around all that. I was thinking about what role I can play here, and I'm obviously going to be the EC's advocate on the council. I love priorities, so if you guys can think about like what's like the first thing you want me to try to get through? You know, is there anything with deer mitigation that the council needs to do, or the ERI bulkhead? Stormwater, you know, what is like the priority? Obviously, the rain garden that we just talked about.
Yes, I would say, and this is just off the top of my head, the deer mitigation, we have to get that on their agenda. To have Jody here for the council. We already missed this season, obviously, but September is the opening of bow season. If we could have something set up June at the latest.
But doesn't that require actually getting, I mean, that's, there's so much more community input that you have to buy in for
Yeah,
that,
the
and you
sooner
have
better.
to.
Well,
Council
I would say, no, I want it all done.
Right.
I want it all done by June,
Sure,
so
sure.
that it's in
You're working on the
force.
24 budget now.
I believe we're starting, yeah.
Yeah, so you would need any budget requisitions ASAP to get them in for 2024, so you usually adopt it in the springtime.
Well, what I think we're all prepared to ask for is the 2%, which is all we're entitled to, and the increase to the budget. I don't have any budgetary items now. It's usually the green team that uses the budget. We don't, because we're more policy, as Kelly pointed out. So when you have some idea of
Mhm.
what y'all need, that would be
Do
good.
you need that by a certain date?
I would do it sooner than later.
Yeah. do it
By
sooner
like
than later.
next, well, we would.
I
have
would
to-
do it by
okay,
next meeting, and
next
then we'll have to vote on it and submit it to council.
Now-
I'll find out more tomorrow when I have the finance. That's the first one I've been on, so I
Sure.
don't know exactly what the
Um,
path is.
cause I know what messed us up or was a little bit difficult this year was that the budget wasn't approved in time for Love Where You Live Day, which is our main event.
Yeah.
And so we had, again, it was personally funded by people of the green team. However, is there a way to kind of,
Yes.
yes.
We can
right?
get a requisition, yes, we
To
can,
use those
to use it prior to the
budget
to the-
being formally adopted.
adoption of the budget based on our 23 budget, which we had money over,
Yeah,
we tried to spend it.
okay,
So yes, we can do that.
okay. Is there any other things like this deer mitigation plan, will that require anything from our EC budget? But the rain garden, if we wanted to do that, would be required from the EC budget, right?
Unless we have somebody else to
Unless,
sponsor.
or we have grant money and stuff.
It. True, we
But we'll
want to
need
know what
approval
we
for
did
the
under a
plan, right?
grant for 2,500.
What'd
And
you say?
the one at the two at Knollwood, we did under a grant, it was $2,500. The budget came in much lower because of, we did it kind of internally with contractors that we use, so. Once we found out that we got the grant money, we paid them, I don't want, I want them to gift us stuff if we have the money. So. But we can definitely go back to the vendors that we used, which was Rice Associates, and then we bought the plants from Pinelands.
So, okay,
And
cool.
they were delivered by me, and I didn't charge anybody, so it's a nice try.
Okay, so going back to priorities, then budget.
Yeah.
Anything for the budget should come and be introduced at next meeting, so we could vote on that and then send that to you.
I think so.
Yeah,
And
I think we want to do it sooner than later, yes.
Yeah, okay. Deer mitigation is a priority.
Yeah, that's a priority of ours. Stormwater is commensurate with, putting
ERI.
together the white paper with,
There's a lot of priorities there.
go to the planning and zoning board, ERI, it's Jess's fault. We have to see how much feedback we've gotten from the other entities in town to see how much of it we can update or you can
I could
update
try to find out
ourselves,
information about that,
right?
by next meeting.
Cause I would,
Yeah.
if it's 10 or 15,000, I can almost guarantee we will not get those funds to do the ERI this year.
Okay. Can I,
So we gotta
Um,
do the best we can internally. for now.
Do you have other council updates? I don't wanna
Sorry.
take from your.
Yeah.
No, just on the priorities, so like on the Shade Tree Commission, my priority is to get the tree ordinance through, right? So that's like what I'm focused on. And it's hard for me to do two things at once. So what I want from you is like, what's the number one thing you want me to get through? And when I'm done with that, then we can all work on them.
Deer mitigation is mine.
I think,
We can work on all of them simultaneously.
Yes.
It's hard to get the attention of the council. I think I'm shocked at how much stuff we're dealing with. And so, I'd
It's
like
just
to
2
have-
meetings a month. It's 2 meetings a month.
I'd like
So-
to have.
It's 2
I'd like
meetings a
to
month.
have- Yeah.
It's
It
a
is,
lot.
and yeah, it's a lot of side meetings and I'm learning that. I didn't realize that, executive session. And so it's sort of overwhelming and I want to try to have sort of a constant signal into them. This is a priority, this is a priority. And then, try to get.
I
that
would
done.
suggest 2 things. Could I just give you my opinion? I mean, I think one monetary thing. That's
Right.
gonna cost some money, and one that's a policy thing. Like the deer
fair.
thing doesn't
Yeah.
cost the town any money.
No, so.
And you
what-
can't give
what-
them 10 things. You're right, absolutely. You
No,
can't
no,
give
I agree. So I would propose, and
One
everybody
money.
can weigh in on this, obviously, or the commissioners, is the deer mitigation from a policy standpoint.
I support that.
Do we
Yeah.
want to, can we vote on it? I think that'd give me more.
We can have a
more
vote.
motion and a vote.
And the natural area committee,
Yeah.
with our, we share what our priorities are and what our budget needs might be.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I was, yeah, go ahead.
I'm Carolyn.
Sorry, I was thinking about something else.
I'm the chair of the Natural Area Committee. I think most of you know Fairhaven Fields is the developed side and then the natural side. The road splits it, so our committee advises for everything that's on the east side, the natural side. The policy of the area is really to keep it natural. We don't put in memorial benches and signs, you know, the idea is to have it be a natural space. We are, we've been able to work very effectively with the DPW over the years and get a lot done. That really stalled last year. And we were kind of redirected to this committee to become part of this as a fruitful place to kind of collaborate with the borough.
What, if I might ask,
Sure.
what's the breakdown with DPW?
There was a lot of, you have to ask for permission, but we won't put you on the agenda.
Yeah.
They're very cooperative and we have like a maintenance walk with them once a month. But in terms of actually agreeing on a plan and getting something executed, like it's stalled.
So it's stalled with this current administration, because it was very good, as you pointed out prior to that.
Yeah, we've always been able to be very effective, but really in the last year, you know, we have no borough employee support at all. So sometimes we're just out of the loop or don't even get information about, like, get your meeting schedule in so we can put it on the
Right.
calendar, any of that. So we're, you know, we were directed to come here. We're hoping that'll be a more fruitful place that we can get some collaboration going with the borough. Our big priority is the northwest corner of the natural area was for many, many years has just been impassable. It was filled with invasive trees. There's something called devil's walking stick that's covered with big thorns. It not only was impassable, it was unsafe if you attempted to go in there. And it was a farm for invasive vines that just spread
Is
to,
that the middle area where that is?
it's by the cell tower.
Oh,
Cell tower.
got it, yeah.
So, we get donations from the community appeal, or the borough gets donations from the community appeal for the natural area. The borough takes our recommendations on how to spend that. And, we usually get about $5,000 a year. And as of like the beginning of last year, we had accumulated over $20,000, like nothing was happening. So we really, one of our goals was to spend down that money and to do something effective with it. So we, with the borough's approval, we invested $20,000 of that money to clear the northwest area.
The sign say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, before, you literally couldn't walk in any of that space, and now you can walk through it. The state it's in now is not the goal.
Okay.
The goal is to make it usable and to make it environmentally positive. We've established a good partnership with the Monmouth County Park System. And they come out and they really give us very thorough advice. They give us written reports. So they've evaluated that area and given us a plan for what to do. And if anyone knows Hartshorn Park, they just recently did a restoration project very similar there. So they basically are giving up their experience with that. They've given us a very specific plan that says what they want is that area to be encircled with a trail. So it's kind of segregated, and then you work on the inside of the trail. They would like that, I think it's first mowed, then planted with natural grasses. And then later in the season, any invasives that kind of recur or pop up, they get spot treated with broadleaf herbicides, which is something that the DPW does kind of routinely. So our question is really like, how do we make this happen? We put requests into the DPW before, like we asked them to make a trail that defines the border between the church property and the natural area. And that was partially done, but not completely done, and that was 2 years ago. So we kind of just need a way to get things happening.
So the reason to come here is that we have a voice and Brian to direct to the council
Right.
where you guys didn't, right? So any request would go to us, we would deliberate it, right? We would talk about it, vote on it, and then it would go up the food chain through Brian.
But isn't Brian also,
Don't you have a liaison?
isn't he a liaison to the net?
To the natural area committee.
Is there? So then why, I don't understand why come up, well, I mean, you're on, which I've explained to everybody, and I get some kickback sometimes, is that every open space, the environment comes under our commission, because there are other committees, advisory boards, so on and so forth, they don't have any way to set policy. As Kelly pointed out, and so you're always under us anyway, so if you need something though, if it's going through Brian to council, I would assume, and maybe it's a bad assumption, I hate assuming, but that you would have a voice already, the council.
But it's an odd assumption too, because the natural area has more money than
But-
the EC.
Yes, we have
Isn't
somebody.
that odd?
Because they are under the community appeal,
Correct.
and we're not, so we are under the government, they're not under the government.
Yeah, I think
We are, because we're a
Green
commission,
green team was
the green
not
team, and
approved
we tried to get the green team
on the. committee.
approved, that has nothing to do with the borough, the
Right.
community appeal. And we did fire off a letter to them to get the green team approved, so that they would get their own funding and not have to rely on powers to be in the town to get approval for a PO and all that. And they were denied because they're spread too thin, so
It
it
just
would take money away.
As a follow-up to that, it's super odd, based on the email that you just forwarded to me, is that you don't really have jurisdiction over the money that's.
Apparently.
been
That's correct, because it's borough funds.
Right.
Theirs isn't, they can spend it wherever they want, to a point, they can spend it wherever they want. Ours is under the borough budget, theirs isn't,
Right.
so you have more flexibility in that.
And I think what we're looking for is like any project of this scale, like 8 people can't do this. Like the town owns that property. It's their park to maintain.
Yeah.
We're
I
looking for a
am-
partnership.
I am flabbergasted, but not surprised that this administration, and it's on public record, I don't care,
Yeah.
okay? That they're not supporting you guys anymore, and I don't understand that, and Brian's find out why. I can't.
Well, they didn't say that, we're not supporting this.
But I mean, that,
Yeah. They had a good relationship with DPW, and for some reason in 2023, how much work did they do for you? As compared to prior years.
I would say less, and they do their routine maintenance, but probably no special projects. We asked for.
So they stopped the special project side of it, so
Yeah.
that's a big thing.
And like I said, it's their park. The borough owns it.
100%, it's
Yeah.
our response, it's the town's responsibility.
And like really a project of this, we would expect to sit down with them and say like, all right, this is what needs to be done. How are we gonna fund it?
We can be another
They'll do a
voice.
part, We'll do a part, or we'll recommend to
Yeah,
this community
and
for
we-
some, but.
We can be 100% another voice. But in that you already have representation from council, I mean, it's gonna come through Brian, from us and from you and see what happens, you
But
know?
are
That's all
there,
we can do.
are there shared priorities though? I mean, is
That's what I'm really-
deer mitigation one of
Yes.
your priorities that we
Yes.
can right,
Yes.
so that, and I-
You're living there.
exactly. And they eat all of our
Yeah.
native new seedlings that we're putting in there, so I do think that by saying that this is priority from the EC, the natural area, third.
I think it's all our
like,
priority, correct?
Right, but I
Yes, it's all
think
connected,
it's just, it's good to
But-
collaborate and be on the same team, and it's just.
which is what we're doing through the roundtable also, but I think what Carolyn, or I know what Carolyn is saying is the lack of support to get anything done in terms of actual boots on the ground, right?
I think I thought what was gonna, like, when you deliver the priorities of the EC, I was kind of hoping that this Northwest Restoration Project could be one of them.
So, a couple things, I feel.
In your oversight of all the.
I feel overwhelmed, there's obviously a lot, right?
I would
You're
imagine.
focused on everything, you're not gonna send anything, right? So it's very overwhelming.
Yes.
But I feel like, I've been to one council meeting, right? But I feel
You're
like
professional.
if I can go in and say, the EC, this is a priority, the EC supports it, here's their vote.
Yes,
The Shade Tree Commission supports it if there's an overlap, here's their vote. The natural area supports it, et cetera, that carry the green team support, you know, the more.
So here-
The broader the support
Yeah.
that's formal,
100%.
that will get more attention than if I just go in and say, yeah, we talked about.
Yeah.
And these 12 things are really important, it's like, yeah, no kidding, everybody wants trees, right?
So let's go back to what we were trying to do before, Christie, and hold a vote. For number one, our priority for getting, not policy, because I think, well, it's gonna be two votes. It's gonna be one is actual doing something. A project, and if that's, if we all decide that that's the rain garden at McCarter's Pond, so be it. If there's something else, so, you know, speak up, and if there's something that we want to hear more about, then let's do that. I don't, you know, and then
Brian?
we'll vote on it.
I would just
Yes,
say on the
sir.
rain garden, the real question is, are we done over there? You know, you don't want to delay this year. Is it this year's event? I'm not against it. I'm just saying maybe we should wait until they've resolved some of the issues out there. You might want to do something.
At McCarter's, you're not doing anything.
Yeah, McCarter, but
then-
are they done or is it?
We're
I
gonna do
didn't-
the hydro raking in the south end, but that doesn't have anything to do with the north side where the rain garden would go.
Oh, you're thinking about the north side. Okay, great.
That's correct.
As
Yes.
long as I'm just worried that we would be overlapping. Okay, great.
We also don't need to rush it, if you guys wanna take.
I was gonna say,
We don't have to rush it. We can wait.
The next meeting, tell me. and-
I'm just trying to push things forward, that's
Yeah,
all.
and I can say at the next council meeting that, you know, the
Yeah.
priorities, we've got a list and we're gonna narrow it down.
Come up with it, yes, I will, Christie and I will come up with a list, we'll send it out to everybody. If there's additions, but I think we pretty much know what they are. I think the policy, obviously, the deer is everybody. I've been getting emails from all kinds of people, and then people stop me on the road and stuff, they know.
I mean,
So-
could these priorities also like umbrella
Yes.
the natural area and the third,
Sure.
so it doesn't have to be something as specific as we wanna do a rain garden at McCarter Pond.
Correct,
On
It
this,
should
right?
be
I
a
mean,
rain garden.
right,
it should be just a broader, like,
Your policy.
Natural resource management.
$1, we're trying to get $1, hopefully that doesn't have a clawback at the end of the year, like it did in 2023, but $1 number, so mine says policy.
oh, I thought he wanted $1.
For deer, and then $1 number, a budget that they could allocate some to love where you live, some to.
That's where we're getting into the budget discussion, which we'll have to discuss that as well, is where we wanna allocate those funds.
That's too broad, Brian?
I don't know yet, because I haven't been to a finance committee meeting, that's tomorrow.
Let's show it for our next meeting then.
It is, I think from past experience, that we wanna be as specific as we can be. So that the powers to be can't say, well, this wasn't on your wish list.
I would agree.
So here's an
That's
example.
right, exactly,
In my
which is part of that email.
Shade
No, that's
tree-
why I suggest you go with one policy item and one
Yes.
financial item, and then give a range on the financial. That's pretty reasonable, you know, it's,
Yes,
you got a certain number that's approximately right, because you can ask for, certainly money makes it more of a difficult decision. But you should be able to ask for one item, I would think, in terms of policy. Certainly that's not unreasonable to ask the council to do that. And
Yeah.
certainly from
I
the
mean-
perspective of one financial item.
You have a budget precedent?
Do I have a budget?
Precedent of it? Have you been historically said we did 2,000, 8,000, 4,000?
We never used to spend the money because we didn't have a green team to spend money.
Or you had a line item.
But we always had a line item, we just never utilized it other than for our dues and such like that, so there was never a project or anything that we needed to use.
How big was the line item?
What was last year's?
Like
2,400 or something, 2,500,
But it wasn't approved until the,
correct, but we can
Right, yes,
put
we can,
together,
yeah.
we
We
can
can
submit
definitely
prior
put
to
together.
approval.
And then it got clawed back.
Well, so.
Well, they get clawed back, we just didn't get approved to spend the rest of the money that was in the budget.
right,
My understanding of the EC is, again, it's policy, so the bulk of the budget was, like you said.
Dues and stuff like that.
Training,
Yeah.
sort of policy, education.
Right.
But when it came to an individual project, that
We would
would be outside.
get funding from outside sources,
Understanding how it works.
right, so like,
That might
if
explain.
Norwood Rain Guards, they were they were
Grant.
under a grant, so we didn't have to tap into our budget, we could have, but we didn't have to.
So if I just. Head spinning a little bit, to be honest with you. But I'm trying to discern between a few things. You just stood up there and this doesn't sound like a money issue. It sounds like there's a surplus of money that you all have.
It's a
That-
manpower issue.
That would be not money, that would be like what we would be getting together and saying, this is a priority for us. This is not about money. They have the money, it's about executing it. Like, I think that's.
It's
Really a
It's-
plan.
it's the tech.
Like, we all have to work together.
Right.
right, but in your case, as you pointed out multiple times, the borough owns the property,
Yeah,
they're responsible.
Yeah, but if
To
they're
be
not,
the stewards of that, under your guidance,
They also have a plan.
to make it, you have the plan. So the town should be doing it.
Typically,
100%.
let me just say, Brian,
Not us.
if they
typically it
met
would
with
be,
us, we could work out that they'll do a part, we'll do a part, you know. make-
That's coming down to council.
is that $20,000 to pay the town to do, like the DPW?
No.
No,
We hired a vendor.
You hired-
upfront.
So,
okay, you hired Frontier to clear out.
right, they came in, they grounded, they removed all the,
But it's a priority of getting DPW scheduled
Yes,
for that.
that's it.
meeting,
Correct.
That's
right?
what-
Up
that's
with
what I'm
everything
hearing.
else that they are.
most of
That's
the
it.
line items, most of the
That's what
line
I'm hearing.
items for the EC were typically not inside the budget of the EC, but utilized resources like the DPW. So
Right.
usually it would be a request from whatever entity to the DPW to say, we need to do X.
in this
And
case,
then-
it's gonna be a request from two entities, us and the natural area committee.
Right.
To ask for X amount, if we figure out how many man hours it is or whatever. For the year to do your project, to do the project that the town is responsible for, because we own it. To do, and that can come from both entities, and hopefully it has some more legs.
Right.
So to give some context, the Shade Tree Commission, we met on the third, Bonnie chime in if I missed something, but I have written down that the priorities for 24. On Shade Tree, I'm gonna communicate this to the council, is a tree ordinance, that's a policy thing, I'm gonna push that through. And second is a tree inventory project, that's a software, there's a cost involved, maybe with grants, but it affects a lot of things. And then third is replacing the Christmas tree, the Charlie Brown.
Which is how much.
I don't have a dollar amount, but those are the Shade Tree Commission narrowed that down to the three priorities that I plan to communicate, and correct me if I missed them.
No, we have a grant to do the inventory, the tree inventory, and we have to do that as part of what the Shade Tree Federation, part of our certification. So we could do a bigger inventory that would cost above the grant.
Yeah.
So-
Company will not do that, we'll just do the basic inventory. Get that done and pass that on later.
With the tree. Just get one delivered every year and be done with it, it's never gonna grow there,
Yeah, I mean, I'll let the Shade Tree.
it's the
Commission do
fifth
that.
one, at minimum,
Does anyone ever work?
no.
Okay.
I don't know that, I don't know, but they're not helping out anywhere else. I don't know how often they water it, I know the guys are there doing maintenance and stuff, but again, stop with it. Have it delivered, just like Red Bank does. I talked to some people about it, for $400 or $500 a year, you have a big beautiful tree lit up, because they can put on the lights when they deliver it, and you're done, and you take it out at the end of the year, just like we do in the house.
Okay,
But we're getting off
so
subject.
what I don't know exactly how you work, but if what your plan is to kind of tell the borough, like, these are what we see as the environmental priorities for the
Correct.
year. And some of them have associated costs or man-hour costs.
Correct.
And then we can even talk about costs, like then how do we fund it? Is that grants? Is that community appeal money? Does the borough kick in some? But if there was a list of like 5 priorities or so.
Christie's we'll put together a list, Christie and myself, of the priorities, you'll put you on there.
I'm just respectfully requesting that maybe the northwest part of
Yeah.
the area be one of them.
100%.
Thank you.
No, I think it should be, yeah.
Because again, it's just, all that is us making another recommendation to have the borough support you in your efforts to do what they should be doing in the first place. We shouldn't have to be at this place.
I think there's so much overlap and it's all
There is.
related and just getting our ERI updated with that information as well and maps of this and a plan and like prior to that, that helps to prioritize. Once you have that all there for people to see too, what this community entails. But yeah,
Policy items, some sort of, financial type item, but also I think a support item to get something done. I think that's like top 3.
Yep.
So that's, we have things, then we're also supporting that we want your project to get done as well.
We will
But yeah, I think
draft it up, send it to everybody, and we'll vote on it February.
And so that will also go to our monthly field reports people, the liaisons, because
Yes.
they might have, okay.
So any items that we're discussing, we'll bring the field rep into that discussion, obviously, via email to review your part of the proposal to Brian to send up the chain.
And our part does have like ordering of grass seed, like stuff like that. We'd like to know that that was done as promptly as possible.
That's up to the town. Right? That they water and maintain it.
I think so.
Yeah, that seems logical to me, but again,
Strength in numbers.
logic and
yeah,
politics and government don't always coincide. Anyway,
Thank you.
thank you. Anything else from council? New business. I think we've done enough. But is there anything else that we want to add to it?
Can I bring something up too?
The man,
Yes, thank you.
under new business, sure.
Yeah, new business.
Absolutely.
There's 2 questions. First of all, when we're talking about, and this could, maybe this falls under the shade tree as well, but the Christmas trees, the collection of Christmas trees and how it's, especially in Rumson, if you go to Victory Park, you'll see that they have Christmas trees.
shoreline.
They wrote the shoreline, right? Why are we not supporting a
Because-
program like that?
Because,
Couldn't hear what you said.
What are they doing?
Okay,
so what happened? Do you want me to? You can, go ahead.
so, Rumson, right now, if you go down to Victory Park, you will see, they collect, Christmas trees. I know Point Pleasant has a whole thing. A lot of shore towns collect Christmas trees because they are a critical way to stop and to make the shoreline even more robust against erosion. They gather, and try to trap the sand. They also have a lot of water, so when there are things growing in the dunes, they help replenish it. There's just a lot of benefits from it. But Rumson's doing it. This is a great way, and they've been doing it for a long time,
All right.
right?
Hold on, time out. Hold on, because I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Who has Christmas trees that weren't picked up yesterday?
Mine got picked up.
They're all
But that's it. They all get picked up by a truck going around,
Right.
gasoline,
So,
carbon
What I
dioxide.
was gonna say is, if we have 20 trees, throw them in the back of my truck, I'll dump them on the beach. I don't care at this point.
But I'm just saying, wouldn't it be a great
Yes.
way or policy, right? So
Yes.
that each
Hold on, Bonnie.
to create this policy and be like, this is a great community incentive. Let's build up our shorelines because the park at the bottom of Normandy
We're
is
losing out.
eroding
Losing all
away
the-
every week, every month with all these storms. This is a great way to stop
And we're
that.
gonna-
And wouldn't that be like a feel good? This is easy.
Not only now, we have a liability issue with the neighbor.
Well,
I will bring that up.
is that just telling the town that we're doing that and then, I don't know, laying that information to the people that are picking the, like, then we just it's all local guys, we would just say instead of taking it and chopping them up.
Dump 'em on the beach.
You put them on the beach.
It's
Sure.
easy to do, you back the truck right up the sand. So, hold on, Mark, Simon, so,
Wouldn't that be a
policy decision by the town? In other words,
Yeah.
you're creating
Yes.
a policy.
Yes,
but they-
You can't
so-
dump that stuff in their property.
Right.
It
So,
looks like the town did it, right?
so what we would do is, again, set a policy in motion to send it up the food chain.
Right, for the
To
next.
say, okay, for next year, this is what we're gonna do with 50 trees.
So in terms of timing, I would say deer mitigation would
Yes.
be first, because that's now.
Yes.
right? And Christmas trees next year.
Yeah.
Well,
We can work on that in
I
August or something.
Sure.
right?
I wouldn't use it as Christmas trees, I would say
But this is all part of
The-
living
the-
shoreline.
putting
idea.
getting our shorelines stabilized.
Before we
And
get
this
to
is an
the-
idea to use Christmas trees, yes.
Or however-
Because remember, we've talked about the living shorelines and we have
10 years.
the ALS is ready and willing to create a living shoreline at the bottom of DeNormandy
Yeah,
right now.
They have
We've
been,
had these plans. But this has not gotten council's attention either, but as the more and more we prolong this, it is getting eroded. There's a tree whose roots are exposed now, we
Big
can
tree.
lose those trees into the.
we
road.
lost them already.
And this is, so when we think about priorities, it's very easy to go to the other things, but for me, I think living shorelines is
This-
a big priority.
This was gonna
Because
cost,
there's a lot of waterfront pocket parks that you can apply living shoreline principles to each and every one of them, and I think it needs to be looked in.
the original plan was approved, was ALS was doing it in conjunction with the town. And a grant for 25,000, I will bet it'll cost you over $70,000 to $100,000 to do that job now because of all the dirt we have to bring in because we lost it. That's all.
Why didn't it ever get done?
Well, because,
Town didn't want to do it
but we have earmarked
because
money.
the engineer
For
was too
years.
busy to finish up the plan to submit back to the ALS.
Other question, does putting trees require DEP approval?
We should get in touch with Rumson to see what.
We can ask
I'm
Rumson,
saying.
we can ask Rumson and
You
see,
have all your ducks in order to get all your regulations.
we can ask Rumson to see.
Rumson and see what they
yeah.
did and what their.
So
process
I
was.
did, I talked to, Heather Robert, we reached out to Heather Robinson today about that, and she's the chair of the EC, and she's finding out on her.
See what policy
The
was
meeting tonight,
passed.
the EC meeting tonight to find out how that started.
Right.
Cause was it the DPW that started it? Was it the EC, and so how did that
And if they.
get implemented?
I think if there's something that their council had to do, let me know.
Yes, because it just seems like it's a no-brainer. We're all working together and collaborating. This is an easy, it's cost effective. It'll probably save us money from tipping trees to the landfill.
100%.
It'll save us better.
Carbon footprint, everything.
People could walk their trees down, right, John? We could walk them down and it would be a great way to do it.
You put it in a little red wagon.
You could, wouldn't that be darling? Yeah.
That's a great.
It's a great story for why we love this. town.
That's right. All right. So,
Easy, simple.
that's easy. Any other new business?
Or Kelly, the second one.
Oh,
yeah.
well,
Thank you.
maybe, but Mark, would you wanna talk about this?
We
I
can
know
do that
it's been-
under,
Were you gonna talk about the open space grant?
Yeah, I was waiting for the next line item.
No, this is all new business, so feel free. I hope you.
Well, what would you like on the agenda? What was that new business?
Public comment.
no, it's public comment.
Oh,
So,
sorry.
that would be
Are they
under
all
public
going?
comment. So, hold on real quick. Do we have any?
That was that, I'll.
I should have voted June's chair.
No, I'm good with green team.
No,
So
so,
in,
hold, one time out. Do we have any other new business? John?
Nope.
Bill? Anybody? All right, so we'll close it out. Go ahead, Mark.
a bunch of, first of all, God bless, Christie, trying to follow.
Christie, you bailed out of the election campaign.
First of all, you never finished your sentence, Hannah.
What was it?
You said
Where
you
did I
wrote
start?
and then you got to the national area, you were gonna.
I'm feeling very much even my first meeting, that is something that would impact the entire committee that we just need to elevate. I mean, it sounds like you're, for
But
some
the-
reason.
but the natural areas are 44 contiguous acres.
Yeah,
Right? there is a natural area committee, Carolyn is the head of that, and then the liaison is Brian, so. It's gonna get back, and it's back to what Brian, there's the policy arm, and then there's the advisory arm, so if you're confused. Been on the committee for 7 or 8 years, and I'm confused, what the hell, how Brian's been here, and he's like, we don't understand.
I'm not confused, I know what's going on.
It seems
I'm happy.
convoluted that you would feel like they would
Very
be
good.
so disjointed from
So-
everything else.
Okay.
Yeah, we were kind of told this year was gonna be a new thing where all the environmental, these committees would kind of come together.
I think, yeah, I mean, that stemmed from the roundtable that we organized, and I think we have a stronger voice if it's kind of one, right? And it's good, there's continuity with Brian on your committee as the liaison as well,
Yeah, because of Tracy and,
Right.
so this is what, so I was gonna say on ERI, Jesse. I flipped through Rumsden's ERI, it's a beautiful document, it's 83 pages, it's from 2022, I don't know if you've seen it.
No,
Yeah.
If you get a chance, you should take a look at it, it's absolutely beautiful, you could steal a bunch of that.
You know, we could also reach out to see who helped them with
You know,
that.
find out where that copy is. You don't need the whole thing,
Their chair-
they're right up on Fairhaven, it's pretty good. It is, it's a great document, and,
Steve, thanks for.
I would.
so it's been that way since I was a little kid.
No, thank you for that, I'll definitely take a look at that and get.
Regarding the rain gardens, question, just how many are there in town?
How many are there currently built?
There are two.
3.
Which
So
is
even the
there
committee doesn't know.
Knollwood,
It's not-
There's 2 at there's 2 at Knollwood and 1 right
I was
here.
asking.
Town hall, yeah.
No, the both the
Kelly.
2 at Knollwood are rain gardens. We combined it with a pollinator garden, okay? But it was originally, they're both rain gardens on the east side and then on the south side, the smaller one on the south side. And then the one here, which is the original one that was done when I started on this 20-something years ago.
And I think council is doing one with their projects. I don't remember where specifically, Drew would know.
Oh, it's.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
pollinator garden, that's different.
Oh,
That's
they're
different.
out there doing a rain
Yeah.
garden.
No, the rain gardens are depressions, the pollinator gardens are, plants and
okay.
flowers and such, which we, at Knollwood,
So the answer is 3.
3.
Okay, so then the question is, how many rain gardens could a 2 square mile town?
It's 1 square mile, so, there's
Not
12.
according to
The
Russell's
ERI. No, it's our.
Robson's ERI, what do they know about us?
A lot.
So, no, they don't. So anyway, no
Brian,
comment,
Brian,
so,
a lot.
so to answer your question directly,
Yeah.
is 12. We built 2.
Okay.
There's, the other one, as I pointed out, nativity won't work. So there's really 11 viable, and then, Acme, there was some there, but that was all renovated and redone with retention basins and everything. There's no place to put one in Acme anymore either. The biggest place is Knights. We found a new spot, so let's take Nativity and move that one to McCarter. So there was 12 slated, we did 2. At Knollwood.
You identified 12 slots and you.
I didn't, Rutgers did.
Oh,
This was a study done by Rutgers of Rutgers Group at Rutgers. Its study is on our website.
look at Gary's face. Gary doesn't even know, is that right?
But Gary wasn't here.
Oh,
No, I read that.
Chris Abrupta's group at Rutgers, which is a stormwater management team.
It's right on the.
They came over here, they did the study of the flow, and they identified 12 areas of Fairhaven that it would make sense to put in
So
right.
how many do you think your committee can
Now,
get
so let's
done?
have the.
We're gonna do 1.
1 in 2024.
That's the plan so far.
Okay, I just want to get those numbers. Regarding McCarter, did anyone report how much it cost?
That's up to council.
How much what cost?
The bid, I know the bid was 120 grand. I don't know what was the final cost. That's above our pay grade.
I don't remember.
Is that number ever gonna be disclosed?
Sure.
It's on the public-
Actually, it's a public number.
It's a public number, it's on the bill list.
Sure, it's on the list.
It's on the bill list and you
It's
see
on the
that
bill list.
That's between you and council.
it should be.
Okay.
That isn't us.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm gonna kick that one to them.
regarding the Third Street Trail and the money that was the clawback money or whatever. We'd be interested in doing that same arrangement, not the clawback part, but similar arrangement for trees in 2020.
Everybody's asking for money.
Yeah,
Jeez,
What was it?
I feel like I'm in my office.
1,300.
It's
It's not a lot of money.
not a lot of money, none of it's a lot of money, but then when you ask for it, it's all of a sudden, it's a lot of money.
So you wanna put in for the budget $1,300 for trees for the Third Street Trail?
I'm not putting in much, I'm asking.
But you're,
No, you have,
to consider,
you
to
have,
consider.
what is what is that same,
Let's stay with that, whatever, 1,300.
but we have to do it differently, obviously.
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking
yeah.
about.
Same number.
But, okay, so we have to redraft that. And, we'll put it in and it goes to a vote for council, for
Or
the
maybe we
commission.
should, somebody should sit down and have a beer with the borough administrator and say, borough administrator, what?
I will never have a beer with the borough administrator.
Somebody. And then don't put that in the notes.
Redacted.
Redacted, I didn't hear
I didn't.
Well, what'd you say, what?
Already said.
What?
that. Redact the notes.
No,
There's my wife calling. me saying,
Teresa and I, we don't have to go sit down and get a beer. There's no reason to. I don't know if Teresa drinks beer,
Yeah, right.
but,
I didn't mean.
we basically need to put all together, look at our budget, look at what we have, as earmarked for our budget, if we can get a 2% increase from 2023, and then it goes to a vote just like yours did in, the end of last year to see what, it's up to the commission, right?
Okay, and then the last one was in the article in Two River Times on Friday. Monmouth County Open Space Grants, they issued $6 million last year. A 5 square mile town adjacent to us has the largest piece of property is 23 acres. It's Meadow Ridge Park. Across the Ridge Road is a 44-acre piece of property. Fairhaven Fields, adjacent to that is a developed bunch of ball fields, another 30 acres, and then north of that is about 8 acres, which is the Third Street Trail. We got 0, and I spoke to Monmouth County, or the consultant to Monmouth County who administered those grants. We did not submit a grant. And we have submitted we've not submitted an application for a grant. We have in the past. Is your committee capable of requesting a grant from Monmouth County Open Space? Or does that go to
For
a grant committee?
Well, it would go to the grant committee, which Kelly is part of.
I'm not part of it.
I thought you were.
No, I'm not part of it.
All
You
right,
should be.
so,
But
so what, so I think that, and I don't know 100%, but I'm gonna go out on a limb that what would,
If you don't know, you don't know, that's okay.
I don't know, I know that we have submitted grants through EC. Yes. Do we have a number and do we have a project that would fit in under the auspices of the grant for Monmouth County Open Space? So if that was brought to us, we would definitely submit it.
We've gotten a number of them in the past.
Yes, we have.
And just, I don't think Mark said this, but it lists the towns that got money, and it's almost.
Every single town in Monmouth County,
Pickles
like
got
in the
90,
peninsula.
Pickles Park, 2.25 acres, got $90,000. It's a
So-
totally developed.
So then I think that you gotta go. If we're gonna say it's open space and we wanna do it for the, what am I trying to say?
Natural.
Natural area,
It's all right.
it's Fairhaven Fields for me.
Okay.
So, and you have a project and you have to know how much money we're going to ask for. Would definitely support to do that, sure, but you have to look at the grant, you have to look, and you speak more about it than I can, so go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think the question that comes down to is who is the one that's looking for these grants, right?
Right.
Is it his responsibility to look for it and bring it to our attention? Is it supposed to come through our desk? Who gets this grant information? Because clearly every other municipality on the peninsula and in our vicinity got it and applied for it and they were awarded it.
It would,
And so,
I think it would come from us to the town and the town has to file for it.
but how do we get a privy to when that says, do we have to act, like, I'm just wondering, do
I'm
we
just
have to
trying-
go out there
I'm
and look for this?
Trying to elevate it so it gets onto your
Yeah,
agenda, gets
I know.
into the minutes.
I-
And gets into Brian's ears that this,
I think,
there's money out there.
Sure.
Teresa, is Teresa here?
Brian.
Hold on one second. Is she here? No. Oh, I
Right.
thought you said she was.
She was on it.
Alright, because that would, hold on one sec, because that would come under Teresa, so if we have she gets a list of all the grants.
Who's she?
Teresa
Okay,
Casagrande,
well, this
the
is.
borough administrator, they get a list of, as far as I know, of every grant that we can apply for.
I'm sure. she-
All right,
These people
so-
know her.
So.
I think we should
the-
ask Brian. I think we
Sure.
should just ask for next meeting for a list of the grants we've gotten over the last 10 years.
I don't
Because
care
there's a
so
bunch of
much
stuff
about the
that's
ones that
come in.
we've gotten, I care about ones that we can apply for.
I
For
understand
each
that.
specific person's
Well,
purpose.
John, why are you saying?
Yeah, why that?
Well, I just think, again, we're questioning whether or not we've put in for everything. I think we should know. I don't have off the top of my head how many grants we've gotten. I can tell you we've gotten a bunch.
No, I wanna make it
But that's
clear,
all I
I'm
can
not-
say at this point off the top of my head, you know?
That's
No.
true. I don't know that we applied for the
We
Monmouth
did
County
not
Open
apply for
Space.
this grant in 2023.
Three, so,
There is an
Right.
opportunity in 2024. It has to be submitted by sometime in July. It'll be
Okay.
issued in late October. So I'm just trying to raise the awareness of the EC. Let's get involved and try to
Yeah.
identify some projects and try to get some. grants.
that's what I was getting at.
I would,
Bill.
I would pass on to your council representative liaison and let him bring it up to the council to move
Right.
forward with the administration,
Well
the
said.
proper chain of command. To let administration look into it, that it's a recommendation from this,
And get us a list of the grants that we
getting
can
this list,
apply
right, but
for.
this way
then we
it
can go out
becomes
for
official.
Yeah.
Right.
Ones that we support, they should be.
Can you vote on a formal resolution that will help?
But it was
Think about
also
what-
like
Do it.
front page of the Two River
Oh.
Times, and and it listed all the municipalities.
So,
It would be a good thing to
can
have.
You can resolve to investigate.
we can do a resolution to
Request.
request the,
Grant
open
history.
grants, the open grants for 2024. And then we'll go to the list of our, entities, right?
Yeah.
And see which grants we should apply for.
Now, this is a matching grant program too, so it gets a little bit complicated.
That's the problem.
Not necessarily a problem because
It is in this town.
Not necessarily, because you could have residents that might raise some money.
Maybe.
It doesn't hurt to explore.
100%. No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
100%.
That's all I got.
Um,
Sorry.
Thank you.
just, and this is, I don't know,
Yes.
being new to
Sure.
council, but. Is there any collaboration or interface between us and the grant committee and the grant committee and other commissions? Like what comes through them that they say, hey, this might be of interest, or some
Yes.
kind of
We do,
discussion and collaboration back and forth, like what grants are they looking at that, hey.
I don't know.
I know throughout the year, Christie does send us emails.
You should get them all directly from Anjac, now that I just.
Right, but those are the grants that we have done, right?
No, they're saying that Anjac grants
and
should be
Anzac
sent to
has-
us that are available to us, and then we can apply for them.
Right, but we have applied for them, but I'm just
Yes.
saying, what does the grant committee apply for and how, because, you know what I mean, like what? Do we have to apply for everything that we want to do, include this open space grant, or is that under the auspice of the grant
I
committee?
think that
It's
you have
under
to,
the grant
you have
committee,
to
I
start
believe.
with what your need is. So somebody has to say, we found, identified a project, it's
Right.
gonna cost $80,000.
Yeah.
And I think you have to start that way, but I'm just trying to raise the awareness of DC.
Yes.
And liaison that we should be talking to Monmouth County and saying, hey,
We can't just submit a grant just because we want money. There
correct.
has to be a project for that, which is
Well, we
what
can
I'm.
come up with a project. and-
100%. There's plenty of projects in the town that probably fall under some of the grant. Details, right, that we would apply for, but we have to know what grants are out there and that's.
See some-
Yeah, to your point. So it come through Anjac and through Monmouth County Open Space.
Are we gonna vote on your resolution?
Do we have enough to vote on?
Resolution to look into what the 2024.
2024 grants.
Availability is.
So if you want to make a motion, yeah, sure.
Make a motion that we forward to our council liaison to look into our 2024 grants that are available at the state and county level.
Any
Grants that are
discussion?
available or grants we applied for?
No,
grants-
grants are available. I don't care what we apply for.
I don't care what- no, it's what
To a
we-
point. I want to know what we can.
It's like they get the
Yeah.
money for Fairhaven Road.
Right,
So what is out there and what are the specific
Yes.
requirements for those grants?
correct.
Exactly.
You know, and can you meet the needs?
All right, so
for-
there's a motion on the floor to pass a resolution. Any discussion, well, we have to vote on it, so you wanna call roll call? Christie, please?
Okay.
What was the resolution?
To look into, to have the town give us the grants that we have ability to apply for.
From the county.
From
And
the county,
State and
from the county, state,
available Grant.
and Jack, we can look that up.
And yeah, we get that, but.
We get that.
To know that, so we're not missing out on potential
For 24.
opportunities for all the different committees and commissions.
So,
Okay,
that's it.
everyone is understood on that resolution, okay. Anna Antonin.
Yes.
William Dorner.
Yes.
Kelly Flanagan.
Yes.
Jesse Murray.
Yes.
Gary Patterson,
Yes.
John Peters,
Yes,
Brian Rice,
Yes,
passes.
that goes to you. Thank you. Anything, any other public comments?
Hand raising.
Good, all right, so the Fairhaven EC welcomes comments, suggestions, and inquiries from residents of Fairhaven. You must wait to be recognized by the chair. Identify yourself by your name and address for the record, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes.
There's a young lady in the back.
Yes, young lady in the back. Hi, Bonnie.
Bonnie Crisivia, 115 Mountain. I would just say with the grants. And the whole environmental and what we're asking for is, it just seems like there hasn't been much of a focus on it. I mean. This band of 8 people and is supposed to be in charge of this 44-acre, and the DPW is wonderful. When we are allowed to have them, and that's really, I guess, what we're asking for, just to give us more time, because they're prioritized a lot, and they're stretched very thin because they've lost a lot of people, so it's, I mean, we understand. And it's no criticism for the DPW at all, just them being given to us to, you know, take down dangerous trees and pick up stuff that the volunteers bring out and all that, so, you know, they've always been wonderful. I was just gonna suggest about the rain garden, if you put it in June, you're risking that the weather has already turned hot, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm wondering if maybe an Earth Day event would be better in April,
Mhm.
right, because it's gonna be cooler. And if putting in an order for plants with Highland Nursery, did you do that, Jesse?
I've done it past.
We do.
Are
So
you
this for the
certified that
town.
you can call it in and put the order in? Or
No.
do you have to put it through DPW?
Has to go through the PO.
Has to go through the test, so we give.
Purchase order to the town, they approve it, and they order it, and then we go pick it up.
Right, so but do you speak with them?
Yeah, any of us can speak with.
Yeah, we
them.
can.
I tried and they said no. I
We
wasn't-
can, I can,
Okay.
I think Jesse,
I've spoken with them
Well,
before.
because
Yeah.
what I'm wondering is, we're putting in this pollinator garden that's covered by a grant.
Yeah.
From Sustainable Jersey, a Thirsty Trail.
Mhm.
We need some more plants.
Right.
And
We have
can
money.
Piggyback, we have the money.
Yeah.
That you don't have to pay, but just like putting it in with an order, it might be. You know, good to combine it.
Sure.
And
how many plants, yeah, because I went down there last time, I picked up 12 plants, it's kind of a lot of fuel to pick up 12 plants.
Well, I would have to go to.
I'm not talking about that, I'm
But,
saying, to
no,
your
I mean, I
point,
think
if we're going to get 12 and we need 30 somewhere else, they send one truck, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could put
Yeah.
in.
I don't have any, we don't have any orders for plants yet.
But we will be,
No,
because
but-
we have that pollinator garden grant that needs to be
Yeah.
completed by May, and this is part of our, right, so we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be having to put in an order, so Bonnie's saying, let's combine.
Put together an order and I'll submit it to
With the
the
rain garden
town.
and pollinator
Okay,
garden.
so
Yep.
So Bonnie, a thought just came with, I saw the list of locations that are signaled for the rain garden. One of them is Smart Start. I don't know where exactly. But just kind of combining, we're constantly trying to figure out ways to drum up support for this farmer's market. And one of those is a pathway connecting River Road and the Small Business District to behind Sickles to Willow, where the farmer's market will be. Something to think about would be having the community in the spring to kick off the market, help plant.
are there beds there?
That's what I'm wondering is where exactly it would be, but in collaboration with the green team. You know, to put people can come by and stop and learn, and just, we're thinking of that cross traffic the cross street connectivity. And if that's a location that is necessary for it, that's something that we could work on and signaling it out and working with Smart Start to say like, this is what we're doing it for. You know, just to keep that in mind while you're ordering the plans.
What we have to do is have a meeting with Smart Start to see if we're allowed to do it.
Yeah, that's
Because it's their
fine.
property, just like we do with.
Well, the parking lot is owned by the borough.
Yeah, but it's still Smart Start, so, but that's fine, I'm sure they're not gonna have a problem with it.
And speaking of,
That parking lot, that west
Stand
side
by,
of the
John.
parking lot's owned by the borough.
Yes, I understand that, but the property itself where we're gonna dig is not in the parking lot.
You have to see where the line is. I don't know where the line is cut.
The nice
Yeah.
Columbus, you said they're redoing their parking lot.
That's, yeah,
I
Yeah,
mean, would they consider putting in gravel? Is there any reason they have to have that?
gravel doesn't do us any good. It's not impervious, it becomes impervious over time. So in order to do an impervious parking lot, you have to use impervious coverage.
So you're saying.
Gravel's not
gravel is
impervious.
No better than blacktop
Nope.
at all?
Actually, it's
Go to Vermont, it's actually worse.
worse.
Yeah, because now you have dirt and every runoff and all that, so over time it compacts. And you go to Vermont or any of these towns, go to Brown's Dock or whatever these, and you see the sheet flow of the water just going across it, it becomes. So people put it down thinking they're doing the right thing, but it's actually a detriment.
Well, then maybe, I mean, would there be a, a pervious surface that they might be able to, I don't know how much traffic that parking lot
It's-
actually gets, is it really that
There's two,
heavily used?
yeah,
But you were,
so-
but they are thinking about the plans to include landscape
Yes.
and a rain garden, right?
so the parking lots, real quick. To do impervious coverage, it's about 20 to 30% more cost. And if it's not maintained, it becomes, but we do pervious coverage becomes impervious if it's not maintained. So it gets, salt and dirt and sand and stuff that build up and it becomes impervious.
And that was also one thing I was gonna say about rain gardens, they're very easy to put in, it's maintained, maintaining them. is the
Aye.
part.
That's,
And Rumson just put one in Victory Park, they have a downspout up that little, the
Mhm.
back, public back. They had somebody that they found that they did rain garden installation. It was a pretty big deal. I mean, putting in the pipes, putting in the gravel. I don't know that anyone here is qualified to do that, that we might need somebody that actually is qualified to put in a rain garden.
there's no downspouts in the Carter.
Right, it's not done, it should have a downspout.
No, there's nothing at McCarter's. There's no downspout, there's no building at McCarter's. We did it all at Norwood and it's all working just fine.
Okay,
Can argue with it, go ahead.
well, I did just, we didn't do all that stuff.
That's, the maintenance doesn't, all we're doing is putting it in. The maintenance of it is not,
Well, it needs to be part of the plan. is
it's
what-
not, we're not gonna do it. The EC, no one said they would maintain it with the kids.
But
They
this
were
is
doing it with the kids.
volunteer days.
Yeah, that's fine, but that comes under the green team.
No, it's not always on the green.
Hey, wait a minute, wait. I know all about Norwood. They said they would maintain it with the kids and the green team, so they have to take it up with Jen Annabelle. It's not something that I'm going. I mean, you guys can volunteer, it's fine, I'm not gonna stop that. But the maintenance of them, it's at Norwood, they
But what is?
said
the
they
point
would
of
maintain
putting
it
in
and they,
then
and
never have it, like, we can say that we're gonna put those in and then that's it,
100%.
but that's not right.
Well said.
But I understand that, but who's going to do it?
We should do
Okay.
it. That's on us. If
Okay.
we're setting this precedent to say that we need to put these rain gardens
It's
in
on Norwood,
and then
when
it's
Norwood,
done.
when we talk to Norwood, and you can look at the notes, or we can go over there and talk to them. They said, yes, you can put them here, and we said, who's gonna maintain them? They said they would, or the garden club might have said something, I don't remember 100%. But it was never said that the EC was gonna be tasked with maintaining the garden, the rain garden.
Yeah, it should be.
100%, it was part of the plan, Norwood said they would do it,
Okay.
that's the plan. That's correct,
But
and
we're
no,
gonna be working
I don't
on
know,
changing
at
things.
McCarter's Pond. It's gonna come under the town, and you know what's gonna happen
No,
there.
we can have all.
But or you say to the green team and to the garden club and say,
It just
can we
seems like
work
a-
in
it seems like a
collaboration?
Pessimistic view of
It's-
this whole
it's-
experience.
it's not at
like,
all, it's not at all, it's realistic is the problem. And if we talk to the green team, right, we talk to the garden club and say, hey, can we work together? Right, just like we're trying to do with the round table and everything else, we will put together the team to build them. Will you do the
No, we
maintenance.
can have volunteer days.
100% you can have volunteer days.
To do me.
Sure you can, but how many volunteer days you're gonna have where you run out of volunteers?
Well, we're gonna,
But that's
we're gonna
fine.
try,
But that would be through the
we're gonna-
green team.
We're gonna do it. It's,
That would be through the green
it's
team.
not
or something.
just always the green team.
Yeah, I think that if we are mandating the building of these, if we're bringing in Rutgers, like,
Right.
it's not just the execution of the green team, it has to come from.
Because there's only.
All right, so then,
EC, that's part of the green team.
We can say
So
that
then-
in policy,
alright,
but
so then
that
we
has to
should-
apply a little longer.
here's a proposal, is we have somebody on the EC that's tasked with putting together volunteers to do this, or something like that, so we have a organized fashion to do that.
But yeah, I mean,
We
I
don't
think if you're-
today,
I think
other
if you're
than-
building one, and if you're setting up the build of these, what is the point of building this if it's not going to be maintained? That seems
It's the
counterproductive,
same as the whole town.
entirely
That's right.
counterproductive.
That's right, but it's not.
It would be
So-
a little bit of a downshift, but you could do your rain garden on, Earth Day, and then every year do the maintenance on it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just like part of
There's
cleanup,
more-
so each cleanup.
It could be all part of that. I didn't mean to say that I didn't mean to say that it's not 100% our job. We don't have the manpower to do it, so we go to a volunteer day, however somebody wants.
But that's our job to
That's what
to
it is.
set up.
It is,
That's
it
our
is,
job.
it is, 100%. Just like we had the Stormex put down there at the Fairhaven Dock, and it was, one of my big things is, there's no sense putting a net, once it's full, it's full. So we had to work with DPW and say, hey, will you guys maintain it when we install it? Sure, because it's nothing that we're gonna do.
You know, I don't think that we need to be out, like, we're not,
That was my point, yes.
but if we are responsible for these, and it can't just be.
We have
50%.
to, you have to figure it out with another organization or however to figure out how to maintain them, 100%. It is set up at Knollwood that way.
That makes sense.
I got one last thing, January 23rd
Yes.
at Monmouth University, Doug Conley is speaking, the wonderful native plant guy, he's a entomologist at the University of Delaware, and it's, the Shade Tree Commission actually gets, if we get, if people attend, we get our,
Or gold medal thing.
CEUs.
Yeah.
Continuing
Continuing
education
education.
credits.
So if you go, and I highly recommend it, I mean, I'm telling you, reading his books, hearing him speak, it's so enlightening. It is why I'm such a nut for native plants and trees. And so just check in, there'll be a student checking, and you can get credit for the Shade Tree Commission if you go.
It's free.
It's free.
On the 23rd
On the
of January,
7
Tuesday,
o'clock in the fall auditorium.
That's great.
Tuesday, what time?
7,
7 at night.
yes.
Just a quick, Mark Olson, 220 Cambridge, quick public comment to new member Antonin. I think it's a brilliant.
Anna.
Anna,
Anna.
remember Anna. I think it's a brilliant observation
100%.
that, and it can draw a line to, Council Cole said this, it's about 21 Fairhaven Road. Maintenance is expensive. And it just gets left away. So we make
Yep.
these commitments. We buy, it's a 2 square mile town,
1.5.
it's
1.5.
1.5.
in our. Right in between.
Never serious.
200 and some odd acres, and the amount of money that this community commits to maintenance. It's a little bit embarrassing. You take something like the bird sanctuary, 5 acres, gorgeous acres. People don't even go in there. It's a disaster. The Third Street Trail was a disaster. The natural area, it's all volunteer hours supplemented.
It's always
by-
been an issue.
It is always an issue, and I think she makes a great observation. What's the point?
That's right.
If
Well,
you're not gonna do the maintenance.
the point of a rain garden is, yes, is to have the plants, have them flourish.
I'm not talking about
Have
rain
the,
garden.
but
Yeah.
I've said that for 20-some years, Mark,
Maintenance is
100%.
important, and maintenance is expensive.
and we're gonna buy another piece of, we already bought it, another piece of property.
I know.
Also, the importance of having an updated ERI is to
Right.
point out all of these things and having a plan
Yes.
for maintenance that hopefully the DPW can be a part of. So that's kind of, it all is it's all.
Unfortunately, we can't manage things on hope, but that's all we have at this point. We'll see what happens.
I mean, that's at least
But
having that.
New
basis
administration
to point
and
out.
But it's an
And
existential
then to
crisis.
track.
We're-
Yeah.
always has been, always has been.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Yes, Dan Scalco, I'm bringing you over.
Hi, Dan.
You can unmute yourself.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. My name is Dan Scalco. I live over at 33 McCarter Avenue, and for the past few years, we've been having some issues with the creek in our yard flooding. So we live behind the Fairhaven Fields woods, and the creek that runs from Dairy Pond in the woods goes through our property under McCarter Avenue Road and then goes out towards the river. And so every time it rains now, we've been having a lot of backup going into our yard. And oftentimes it's coming within like 75 to 50 feet of like our front door. And I actually grew up in this house and I purchased it with my wife about 3 years ago. And the flooding from when I was a kid compared to now is completely different. I do know my mother had been trying to also get this fixed when she owned the house, and so I'm kind of just picking up in her footsteps where she left off. I know in the past they have done something where they had like jettisoned like water in there to try and like clean it out. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. Tracy Cole told me to come by, leave my comments. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
We used to do, Ralph used to organize it where we would do a Fourth Creek walk. That's the name of the creek from Dairy Pond all the way out to the river. We can, to Anna's point, put together a volunteer day to do another walk because it obviously gets clogged up in certain areas of the stream. That coupled with, more rainfall, obviously, which we talked about earlier. So we can put together a volunteer day to walk Fourth Creek. That's the only
Brian?
one. Really look.
Can we ask the sewer authority to scope it?
Yes, that's
So where,
kind of
so you're on the south side of McCarter?
yeah. So I'm right at the corner of Maple and McCarter.
Outside, so to John's point, it's not backing up, it's backing up after him, John. So
Yeah,
there's
I have-
nothing really to go.
yeah, I have a
It's
bunch of
backing up
photos.
after the culvert running under McCarter.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct?
So it's the culvert that has trash or wood and just garbage in it. It's just not flowing correctly.
Right.
And so what ends up happening is it goes over into the street. So if cars actually drive by, you're going to be in like at least like 6 inches of water when it gets like really, really bad.
We would have to put in, I mean, again, it's going back to DPW and taking care of their part. Is that we should make a recommendation through Brian to have DPW go and check the lower culvert, let's call it, from Maple, right? So to the north of you. And clean it out. And if they won't, then we have to get volunteers together to do it. The town's job.
Well, it's the town's responsibility.
It is, but
Well,
yes, it's all the town's
It's
responsibility.
maintenance.
But it's maintenance.
But it's
So,
maintenance.
so Brian, I guess make note of it, please. And, he just scratched his head. So thank you. We will, send that up the line also, see what happens.
Okay. Is there anyone that I could just keep in touch with just so I don't lose track of this? 'Cause I've been trying to get this on the radar for the past few years.
can we get a follow-up on this?
Yeah, you have my email address, so just email me and I'll get we'll have an update from Brian, if not by the next, before the next meeting, in the interim, if not by the next meeting, to see what the town is willing to do to clean it out.
Can I
Okay.
also suggest that you send photos? I think photos
Yeah.
of this stuff is really also
Yeah.
like.
I have a
You want
dozen.
to-
So
and-
who can I send those to?
Right, May, you have my email?
Okay.
I
All
just
right.
emailed
Great.
you.
Perfect. Yep.
Yep,
This could be, like the photo we saw of the flooding at the base of Third Street. of Third Street on across from the Columbus Club in their backyard, when they took that video of that flooding and this, then this goes, paints our picture visually of why stormwater is such an issue, why we need to have maintenance, education, rain garden, it's all connected. So, maybe we can gather these videos and put together a post or
Brian?
image or, you know,
This
just.
could literally be a whole entire like appendix to the ERI of what the maintenance plan is, you know. For all the open space of here's all the different things that.
Again.
Here's all our open space,
Yeah.
here are all the priorities of. What
Brian?
should be maintained and
Hold on, John.
we can have like.
I hear you.
volunteer days.
And visually, just why it's a priority for council as well, right? And why
It is,
it's
and we have to have their buy-in to
dedicated
do it.
fund.
That's where we're missing, to Anna's point, is the buy-in from the town to take the responsibility.
I think at this point, given these issues, I think we should ask the town engineer to come to the next environmental commission meeting
Sure.
to talk about this.
Yeah,
Sure.
And perhaps if he doesn't respond, we can ask him to the next environmental commission meeting.
Who is he, there?
No, I'm talking about the town engineer. Rich Cardell. Or,
We can invite him.
no, my point is, if we don't want to respond to these issues, then perhaps he can come to a few meetings,
Yeah.
yeah.
maybe
Yeah,
3
I-
meetings. Because
Because
this is something I think we should be deal with. We should be able to deal with this,
email.
at least know what's happening. I'd like to know what's
Okay.
happening.
Yes,
The town is doing several micro projects within the town. How many of these projects are involved with stormwater management? For example, at the end of Buttonwood, where it meets Linden, those storm grates are not hooked up to anything. That's part of the project. So I'm saying, look at the overall picture. How does this impact the problems that we see today?
Yeah.
We don't have.
what's the maintenance schedule of them cleaning them? We
Well,
talked
no,
about
no,
that.
no, I-
Also, they have to be cleaned out. They don't.
Right, but I'm just saying, what projects are they specifically doing impacting stormwater management and these issues that are coming up?
Then we
Is
can
my
ask for a
question.
report.
Right,
Mhm.
but it'd be nice to see that, for example, I know McCarter has overflowed numerous times, and I've seen it. Is that being addressed with their project?
As far as I know, no, and that's the issue with the culvert being, first scoped and see, but we believe it's clear. We don't know 100%. And then it comes down to, again, additional, more rainfall, more rain events that we have
Right.
today, that the culvert probably isn't large enough. But again, until we get an engineer in there.
Right,
look
but
at
I'm just saying is,
We don't
we
know.
already, the
Yes.
town is doing the reports, let's get an idea of what the town is
We
doing.
assume the town's doing it.
No, there is a contract.
They have to do a stormwater management plan, and they have to file.
Right,
reports,
but
yes.
my thing is, they already put out the contract for all these different stormwater management areas.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it was passed by the council a couple months ago.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, it was passed by the council,
Right.
so what are they doing to address these issues? I think it's important that we should know that.
Should be in the contract, right?
Well, it should be, there should be a
Yeah, right.
contract.
It should be a contract.
There's
and there'll
other
be
things that
scope of
aren't.
Work in the contract, right?
There are probably things that are not in that contract. The point is, I think we should get.
We just need to know the scope of work, that's all. We don't need to
Right.
finite, detail.
Okay.
We have some.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Reagan Guido?
Oh,
Oh.
there's somebody standing here in a
I
white
thought
coat,
you stepped
sweating
out.
and a
Sorry,
sweater.
sorry.
She probably wants to get out of here.
Sorry,
No.
I'll
So-
put my screen.
She's in it.
I'm sweating just late. I was sweating earlier and I just have a t-shirt on. Jeez. Go ahead.
Hey, y'all, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
No, hold on, time out.
All right, awesome. All right, so
Ready to go.
yeah, this is Ray Guido, 256 Fairhaven Road. We've been living here for a little over 5 years now. And I've been meaning to join these calls for a while now. Finally forced myself in 2024. I know it's late. Just a couple quick comments. Number one, I thought the Christmas tree idea is a really great idea. That's a pretty interesting one. I totally forgot that Rumson's doing that. So happy to help there wherever you're looking for volunteers. The other comment I was going to make is I am more than happy to help with this rain garden idea, trying to figure out everything with the maintenance. I think it's a super awesome idea. I think everyone here would be surprised at the amount of people in town who would volunteer to help out with these things. So happy to dedicate some of my personal time to figure out, what that maintenance plan would look like. So, I don't know what next steps would be there, but you have my email. Happy to help
As I
out.
have it. We have somebody who's jumping on you right now. so
Yeah, I'm just.
You're gonna be part of the green team by the end of this night. Thank you.
Sounds
Thank you,
good.
Ray.
All right.
Thank you. Everybody, you're gonna start bidding. Yeah, you're gonna start bidding over you, so. Thank you, and you have my email, Ray, so anytime, please reach out.
Yeah,
Great.
appreciate it. Thanks all.
All right, thank you, Ray.
Yep.
Thanks, sweaty.
Hello. I'm not that bad back there.
No, you look,
My name is
okay.
Stacy. I am Ray's neighbor. I live at 263 Fairhaven Road. And it seems like now might be a good time to bring up the videos that I sent Chrissy earlier, as far as McCarter Pond.
Let's go to the videotape.
Yeah. But in the meantime,
Instant replay.
I am more than happy to coordinate volunteers. Me and Ray have talked about this as far.
What's your email address?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Me and Ray and multiple other neighbors of ours would be more than happy to coordinate volunteer days and help any way we can with the rain garden. So it comes in.
And that's what I think we did is you.
Those online.
Let's go to the videotape.
Okay.
Oh, these are the videos of, all right, got you.
Of the flooding, right?
Yeah, the flooding down the bottom third. They make it larger?
Well, I'm trying to play it and it's saying it's not supported.
Oh, God.
You didn't pay the internet bill.
Try this again.
Looks like an image.
Oh, yeah, just go, or you can just show the pictures. It's basically the same thing. Unless it's gonna play.
Should be,
It's just a video.
see the 2 arrows at the bottom underneath where you are, Chrissy?
Oh.
Go to the right,
Yeah, I think.
right there. Did that do anything? Nope. But the video, because the video is not populated.
Well, I can also just, I can email it.
Are those the same videos we had or
It's-
similar?
I don't know if Tracy would send it to you guys, potentially.
The unsupported and coded.
Go to the, but I could see it other. Even the word, the picture, the PDF, like I sent you to, it's essentially the same thing.
Yeah, it's not.
And this projector?
Okay. No,
All right,
All right.
but it definitely overflowed
Yeah.
last night.
Yeah, I mean, I thought.
Sure.
Yeah.
Did, that would be the 4th time within the past year, so. Any kind of stormwater management plan assistance you need, I'm also in for that as well.
we could issue life jackets.
Yeah, yeah, I just bought one.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't buy any more. I have a garage filled in.
that's,
Literally.
it's essentially.
All right, so that shows, that gives us a good.
It just keeps overflowing just on that north end.
Does it
No.
overflow into your property as well? or-
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but mostly just on this north end into Linden's.
Right.
Right, I think this is caused by a fog.
No, it
No.
doesn't have, I don't think it's clogged. I just think it's the amount of rainfall we get that can't handle.
Yeah.
The pipe and.
The culvert going under Fairhaven Road.
Understood.
isn't big enough.
And not to mention that there's
If the mo-
concrete, there's. The dirt, there's nothing sinks in, it's just embedded concrete as well too. And,
Just the flow off, you mean.
right,
Yeah.
all the flow, nothing
Right,
infiltrates.
Right, so the problem, so
Because there's no vegetation.
here's the,
Part might,
On the bench.
that might be addressed, that issue.
the problem may be is the elevation. No matter if we put a bigger pipe there, your elevation now is not high enough, right?
Mhm.
So you can put a bigger pipe, but how much, you're only as good as the flow on the other side of that pipe. So I dare say what'll have to happen, and I'm not an engineer, but I've been around water forever, is you'd have to build up a bulkhead on that side to hold it
Well, you
back.
could put in 2 pipes, Ryan.
Put in two, yeah, but I know,
Two
but I understand that, but the amount of water that we get. You're still not, you're only as good as, so you put in 2 pipes, but it goes into one,
Well, if it doesn't go into
It's
one,
still-
you're
it's still not gonna
increasing
do-
to
it's
get
not
the
gonna-
volume.
you're not gonna be able to get rid of that volume of water. So you're gonna have to build a barrier or a bulkhead there to raise that level.
Well,
And
again, if you have
so here's what happens.
capacity,
No, hold on. You're gonna increase the capacity of the pond, the people that live around the pond are gonna get pissed because now
no,
it's overflowing.
Gary, I'm
into
talking
their-
about the flow of the pipe, right, Gary?
Doesn't matter, John. If you put in two 12-inch pipes and it goes into a 6-inch pipe,
Well, don't have it go into a 6-inch pipe.
all right, so you have two 12s go into a 12, it doesn't matter.
No, carry it through, Gary, right?
They're gonna dig up all Fairhaven Road to put in, I mean, that's exactly what has to happen. It's not going to, you know, the pipes aren't big enough to handle the water.
I'm pretty sure Fairhaven Road Phase 1 is part of the project that they're doing. So there might be it being addressed. I don't know. I know
You're
they.
very optimistic, my friend.
Okay.
But this.
Yes,
but this
yes,
is what
I don't
I'm saying,
disagree with that,
though,
right, but
is
we have
that-
to, but this is a problem with all stormwater management,
Right.
is the pipes can't handle the flow.
Connected
I
to-
agree.
yeah. You can't
It's just
do
no
anything
different than
without
electricity.
that because of water, right?
It's the infrastructure, that's the problem.
Right, well, I want this one.
Oh, no. I won't, I mean, you won't see me. So,
And last thing, for what
Thank
it's
you.
worth, because if you scroll down to the page 2 of that. For what it's worth, once the hydro rigging trucks left.
Yeah.
they
Yes.
left a
Oh,
terrible mess. of-
they're gonna, I would imagine, I'll go out on a limb that they're gonna take care of that in the spring.
When they're
Okay.
done.
But only because we walk it every day and how it's that section, that's when they first got there. I haven't taken a recent photo, but it's basically unwalkable at this point. It's
Yeah.
walking stroller, we can't pass through there at all.
There's no
And-
sidewalk on
And there's no sidewalk.
There's just, yeah.
No.
So I'm.
That might be in the phase of Fairhaven Road, they might be putting in sidewalks on that side, I'm not sure.
No, I don't think so.
No, I haven't looked at it, so we'd have to talk, we'd have to address that with the town.
Shortly, hopefully, when the pond starts to freeze,
It will,
these mounds and when they harden, it's gonna be really dangerous.
Yeah.
So.
we have to, I would, go to a council meeting and
Yeah.
talk to them, but we'll see. Your council has a lot on. But again, that goes into a maintenance issue with the town.
Well, with the company that didn't, I mean.
They should be
They
cleaning
should
it
at least
up.
break it and even it out,
They should grade it,
But
Right.
at least this is where I think,
but again, we have to ask the borough administrator of the town to see what.
okay,
is
so
in
he
the
was the one who dealt with them,
yeah, it had nothing to do with us,
Okay.
correct, so you understand the process. We get to a project, we suggest it to, the council,
Mhm.
they go out to bid, then it's their oversight, it's
Right.
not ours anymore.
Yeah, right,
Yeah,
makes sense.
That's how that,
but this McCarter Pond has been a little pet project, like our baby project here for a very long time.
well, yeah,
But I've seen it come full circle, and this is why we're saying there's a lot of potential for rehabilitation of that bank, of that pond. That can serve so many benefits, not only just aesthetically appealing, but also serving as a purpose of a buffer of infiltrating some of this stormwater. And I think that this could be a great opportunity for the EP to kind of put in some of our practices and infuse real life there, and it be like a beacon. I mean, we wrote a grant for this, because that's what we
Yes,
wanted the
that's
rain
good.
garden to
Yes.
be, but McCarter Park is a icon of our town.
It's a staple, yeah.
You know, and many people, like for leisure activities, for aesthetically, for environment, it
where I
is
used to
so
get
much,
bags,
you know?
well, that's what it is, it's a nice pond,
That's his-
it's a nice pond for the McCarter estate, 100%.
And there's potential for it, I think these, you know, we've talked about having like a Friends of McCarter Park, just educating people about why not using pesticides on your lawn, or limiting that buffering like you do on your property as well,
I
so
think
that
it
it manages it.
educate people
runoff.
or the property owners surrounding a
Sure.
sure fertilizer pesticide use would be.
So which
But I
house
think
are you in? You're in the house, not on the pond.
She is.
On the
She's-
pond,
she's-
parking lot, and then. The greenhouse next to where the rain garden would go, and then I'm the next one.
you're two or three in, right?
Yeah, 2 in.
So you're on Fairhaven Road, you're the second house in,
Second house.
Second house.
To the south.
Yeah,
gotcha, okay,
Brian?
so, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you think it'd be worthwhile with all these stormwater issues to have the town engineer come to the next meeting to answer some of these questions,
Yes.
Rich Verdella?
Yeah,
Might be.
It would, well, it'd be Nick Porchensky he's the stormwater management liaison.
Well, the reason I'm suggesting is because
He's
he's in
the other
charge.
engineer.
Well, right, but he's also in charge of DPW and he also knows all these projects, so I'm just saying he
Yes.
might be a good.
We can ask,
resource.
we can invite Rich and see if he would
Or
attend.
maybe we can go through our council representative.
Oh.
So,
No, I think, let's be honest, I mean, there's a reasonable expectation for someone to come. That's all. Someone from we have 2 engineers in town.
Right, and.
I hired both of them.
He doesn't
I'm
have to be
expecting
here
them to
person.
come, okay?
We have Zoom, so he doesn't have to, yes, he
Right.
doesn't have to
Oh,
physically
I
be
think it's
here.
reasonable.
Just someone that can answer these
Yep.
questions
Yep.
that we don't have answers
Yep.
for.
No, you-
on the council, I've written down, I counted 10 things. And the bandwidth just, I don't think it's there, so that's why
Right.
I'm trying to ask for, your
Priorities.
1 or 2 priorities. I can carry that more effectively than 10 things.
Yes.
That just isn't gonna get the bandwidth.
But we can definitely, Christie,
I can invite
send
Nick
an
and
email
Christie.
to Rich and Nick
Right.
All of
Yeah,
them
and
have-
ask them, it doesn't have to go through council, we can ask them.
That can help you get educated
Right.
by those
We
guys.
can send them an
And then
invite.
you set priority.
A Valentine invite.
Valentine's invite.
Brian, it could be
Anything
worse.
else will adjourn.
One second.
Up?
Is there a list of?
Brian, it could be worse. You could send me.
No,
I'll go say hello.
I'm out, John.
Nobody wants that.
Go ahead.
Dan just reported a flooding issue. Is there a list of all of the people in town who have flooding issues? Is there a list of those people?
No.
And
Well,
to try to
we-
pinpoint where the source problem is?
Well, the source problem is the rain and not properly running off
But
in
this goes
drainage.
on the river. I mean, he's on a creek and
Yes, so there's a blockage downstream.
Michael, who we all heard, that Michael DiMaselli, it's runoff, I think it's.
It's the developing behind her on,
Right. So, I
yes,
mean,
that
there's-
was
I
not
guess
good.
I just wonder if there's a master list when,
I would think
he sounds
Rich-
like he's been trying 2 or 3 years to get
I-
attention.
I would say there is a list at the town. I don't know. That's up to the town. That the complaints would go to the borough,
Yeah.
not to the EC.
Yeah. They just call the main office and then we would track them.
So there's a,
Do you know if there's a list of people?
I do
You'd have to
not
find
know.
out from the borough.
But this is also why, like, asking for some of these photos and a directory of this, especially as we're trying to educate about stormwater, we're trying to make more stringent stormwater policy in town and why it should be a priority for council and maintenance, et cetera. I think it's important for us to also catalog, especially these people that are coming to our meeting and showing this.
yes. It is, it's on a matter of public record once they do it.
Right, but also, I'd love to have the photos and catalog and as
It
we
seems like
thinking
a-
about making our presentations, our pamphlets and everything else.
And also
Yep.
for grants.
Exactly.
Thank you, Bonnie. Motion to adjourn. Unless we have any other, I didn't see any other hands.
Any other hands online? No further public comment.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn.
Do you all?
John?
Somebody gonna make a motion?
Second.
No move.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, no, it's a thing.
That's a really.